Woohoo! Tackle Shop Confessions is back again. Good to see you, Sam.
What's up, man?
How are you?
Good.
Good, man.
Missed you last week.
Been a while, yeah. You were fishing or I was fishing?
You were. Well, you weren't. You were on a fishing boat.
I was. In fact, it was pretty funny. You know, the tribute pulled up next to us, and I'm up there videotaping and, you know, shooting video. I'm yelling, Mackie, you got that one up there? And he's filming up there. And then all of a sudden, his voice comes over the PA on the tribute. Phil Frieman, why don't you grab a jig and throw it on these fish? And I'm like, who is that? You know, I couldn't even see what boat it was. And it was pretty funny anyway. But we had a great time fishing with Rambo. I haven't seen him for a long time. We'll go into that trip. We're going to talk about these big tuna. I know you're going to have a lot of advice about this because, Sam, we're seeing fish as big as 240 pounds on the Highliner.
Big one. Yeah.
Wow. And the new Lohan laid out their catch the other day. And I mean, a lot of guys have been doing this. It looks like a freaking long range trip.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, last year we kind of like had a little bit of that big fish elude us a little bit more. And not that they didn't get any big fish, but it seemed like the volume was more in that middle size, awesome size, 60 to 100 pound fish. I was on a trip on the New Lohan last year where we got several 200 pounders, but it was definitely more the exception. Whereas this year, you know, we still mix fish, still guys that are catching 20 to 40, 20 to 50 pound fish, but there's definitely been a higher percentage of big ones, you know, and big ones being over 150 pounds.
Yeah. We're not even like saying over 100 anymore. It's over 150.
Yeah. A lot of
amazing.
big ones. Yeah. And a lot of guys losing them too. You know, I was talking Alex from the Royal Star was in here today picking up some supplies, and he was mentioning that on one particular trip that they were on that they hooked 13 fish, all 13 of them got smoked.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, you know, I think part of it too is that because of what we had last year with guys catching that more medium-sized fish, guys are going out there with 50, 60-pound gear, which last year was adequate, the right size. This year they're going out there and they get into that big school, and that big school wants to bite, and everyone gets burned. So be advised, guys, make sure you take your big gear. And that was one thing that he mentioned, too, is that some of these guys, he knows they have big gear. They've been on the boat, you know, before.
And they didn't bring it?
And they just didn't bring it, you
That's
know, for
crazy.
whatever reason. Part of it, too, is, you know, I think we're all victim to the moment, and, you know, we see kind of what's going on, and you're like, well, you know, they're only catching this. I'm like, you know, and sometimes too, sometimes we'll hear in conversations in some different kinds of podcasts and things like that where they're like, well, you know, almost kind of making fun of the guy who brings too much gear.
Right.
You know, and they're like, well, I'm going to go down there with 4 rods and reels and this much tackle, and like if they're going to get some type of Nobel Prize for doing that, and they go out there and they get burned. You know? I mean, you have the tackle, it's sitting right at home. Bring it aboard. You know, so he was just mentioning that he thinks that as the season goes along and they get more regular charters, these guys are probably going to go ahead and see what's going on and bring the right gear. But make sure you guys bring the right gear, guys.
Yeah, I mean, on the morning briefing today and yesterday and all the days, I've been saying there are 20 to 60 pound fish, but you have to be geared up for the 200 pounders.
Yeah.
Because you get bit on the light tackle, you're screwed, and you've lost the fish of a lifetime.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And they're biting, you know. I mean,
God,
so
they are.
the opportunities are real, you know. So make sure you're in the water with that big gear. Now, you know, if you're out there and you don't really want to tangle with a big fish, then fish light line and tighten down the drag, and they'll gladly free themselves from you. But if you want to get a big one, you know, be advised. Yeah, there's some big fish down there. I'd say even on that sinker rig fishing, I would say minimum 80 pound, preferably 100, but minimum 80 pound even on that sinker rig fish.
Yeah.
Which last year was more like 40 to 50 pound. Yeah.
Speaking of the Royal Star, the name escapes me right now, but I put a short up today. There was a young lady on there. Her grandpa is a regular. Diego says he's a great guy. And it was her first time fishing for bluefin tuna, and she got 100+ pound bluefin tuna.
Monster. I saw that picture.
Yeah.
That was cool.
While at the same time over on the Intrepid, Kate, and she didn't put up a last name, but Kate had one that was over 200 pounds.
Yeah.
And just from the photo, she looks like she weighs 100 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, the fish is so big.
Yeah.
I bet she's not much more than that. And man, I mean, first time lady anglers, my hat is off to those ladies. That's
right.
Some pretty good stuff. But that goes back to what you're talking about, Sam, having the right equipment, right? That gives them a chance to do that.
Especially if you have it, you know, especially if you have it at home. And that was the whole thing is, you know, I get it. If this is your first time going on one of these tuna trips and you've already spent, you know, some good money on some tackle, and then now I'm going out there and telling you, well, now you got to go back to the tackle shop and spend another $1,000. I know that's tough, but, you know, make arrangements. You know, find a buddy maybe who has a tackle, or talk to the boat ahead of time, see if they can get some tackle for you. Depending on the boat, they may have some tackle on the boat already. don't wait till you've already hooked and lost that fish to try to make that adjustment. Go down there prepared.
So poor Mackie, he's on board the Cortez with us.
All right.
Why? He's never caught a bluefin.
Okay.
I've got that in my head, of course, but we're trying to get all, and to be honest with you, it's normally me and somebody's left out because there's a fish going in the bow getting gaffed and one in the stern, and I'm with one of those two guys and I miss it. So we had it covered, and we're doing the whole thing. So, I'm looking at him, he's working his ass off, doing such a great job. And I go, you know what? Stop filming. You deserve this.
You got to go get one.
You got to get one, man.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
And I'll take it from here. And then Rambo comes over the PA and says, "We got to kick it for the barn, everybody. We're done here."
As soon as you said
Yeah,
that.
exactly. 2 seconds after I said it. Yeah, poor
Cut him
man.
loose. All right, party's over.
So I look at him and I go, he goes, "Oh man, we got way more chances to do this year." So,
yeah.
But still, that was pretty good. Sorry about that. Should I read some comments?
Yeah, let's get
All right,
comments.
we'll do
Sure.
some comments. We got to talk about this imminent white sea bass explosion that's about ready to blow. You talk to anybody up in the Channel Islands, they're freaking just seeing schools of them. In fact, before I get to that, there was a guy named Rocky on our Cortez trip. He said that he was, I forget what boat he was on. I think it was the Aloha Spirit. No, it was with Tucker on the Endeavor, I think. And he said they could see schools of them. He made a cast with a sardine, and he said 40 white sea bass turned at it, one ate it.
Wow.
He said there's so much fish up there that it's going to go up really, really soon. All right, Tommy Tar, Professor Phil, red and green lingcod, same species? Yeah, same species. I think it has to do with their diet, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, where they live and stuff.
Pretty sure, Tom, you see a lot of those blue ones down there in Mexico for some reason. I think it's the hot sauce, but I'm not
Could be,
sure.
yeah.
Tapatio, I think, does that. All right, Tommy Tar, if the bluefin tuna are deeper than 300 feet, can the boat's sonar pick them up? Absolutely. In
100%,
fact, Rambo on our trip said, I'm going to put this thing on 600 feet just to see if they're down deeper. And we still, our first 2 days didn't see them. So, yeah, absolutely. They can do that for sure. Tyler Tanaka, I saw a great photo of you and Tyler.
Yeah.
I
he
missed
came
him last
through.
Monday.
Yeah.
Darn.
I know.
Yeah, I really wanted to. Tyler, it's great to see you. That was a great photo. And, some people, you can look at their face and see that they're nice people. I don't know what it is.
Cool dude. Yeah,
I can tell.
Yeah.
Tyler says, yes, Captain Phil and Sam back together again. Yeah, people thought our romance may have been our bromance.
On the rocks.
Yeah, on the rocks. And I assured everybody, hey, no, I'm fishing actually.
We're still working it out, but we'll see.
Yeah,
See how
a
it
little
goes.
therapy, or what do you call it? Marriage counseling, or whatever it is. Yeah, we'll be all right. All right, live free, die free. Evening, Phil and Sam. Hello, Friedman Adventures family. Thank you so much for being here. I think I missed one, which is Isaac saying, good evening, gentlemen. Good to see you here, Isaac, who was
At the top there, I think.
Oh, did I miss another one? Oh, Chris Navarro.
Yeah.
Good evening, Phil. God, Chris, I'm sorry. Good evening, Phil and Sam. Are there any spots left on your 3/4 day drip on Thursday? Yes, there is, I think, one, Chris. Send me a text, and I'll get you signed up. Question for both Phil and Sam. Went rock fishing last weekend, and many bocaccia were caught. Half the anglers didn't want them because they heard they have a lot of parasites. Is this the case? I'll give my opinion on this. This is nonsense. I mean, yeah, maybe they do have some worms and parasites. A lot of fish do. Halibut do.
Tuna do.
Cook out.
Wahoo do,
Yeah, when you cook them, they're fine. Bocaccia are freaking delicious. I'll eat them any day of the week.
Yeah.
But I heard guys on our Cortez saying slimy, smelly, stinky.
Yeah. They are a little slimier, but you're not eating them raw on the outside. You know what I mean?
They make one hell of a good fish taco, I'll tell you that.
I know for sure if you have to keep the skin on, you probably don't want to mix those fillets, with the other fillets because it will make them a little fishier. So there's definitely a few things you can do to, treat them, or handle them differently. But the meat itself is fine. Yeah.
I think so, don't you?
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah, for sure.
You eat it, don't you?
Yeah.
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 All right. But I know a lot of people are not into it, but we seem to think that they are good. All right. Where am I? Oh, there I am. Where am I?
Got room for Chris.
Another one from Chris? The new regs one?
Right there, has the name Friedman Adventures.
Oh, wait, yeah. I'm all screwed up. Okay, I think it's
that's
Chad. Chad Christopher, right?
Yeah.
Chad, good to see you, my friend. I'm a little early to the party, no question here. Just a shout out. Phil, great trip on the El Patron with my first ling. He caught a beautiful ling. That was great, Chad, to see that.
He was in here telling me about it.
Yeah, Sam,
Yeah.
thank you for setting up my reels and getting me ready
Oh, yeah.
for the bluefin tuna trip. Chad's a great guy. He
Yeah,
brought
yeah.
donuts, Trejo donuts down.
How were they?
I guess they were good. Who had them? Did you have one? Mackie? They were good. Yeah. They were really good,
They're
Chad.
really round?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
holes in them?
round and, a
wow.
lot of sugar on
I
them.
heard about donuts before.
I'm just saying, Chad was very nice to do that.
How were they?
They were great.
They were
You
good.
weren't there. You poop head. All right. Yeah, they were great. And he came in here and got all rigged up with you?
Yep. That's why you got that link card.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Well, he said he got rigged up for
Yeah.
bluefin tuna.
Oh, okay. Well, now he's going to catch a bunch of bluefin.
Yeah, really. Take credit for that now, before the guy even catches one. What else was I going to say about that trip? Oh, John Garza, he came in here recently and said he bought a bunch of stuff. And he said he goes, I would never go to a tackle shop in Carson if it wasn't for Tackle Shop Confession. He goes, that's where I saw. And he goes, that guy's got tremendous inventory.
Yeah.
He really enjoyed himself. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Big guy,
Yeah, yeah.
beard.
I think so.
I love John. He was at our surf fishing thing. By the way, our surf fishing thing was a lot of
I
fun.
know. I saw that. I was thinking, man, I wanted to go.
Yeah, we got to get you,
You guys
on.
you guys get some or what? It was okay?
We caught plenty of like little leopard sharks, right? And this knucklehead, Dan Lightfoot, I'm looking at him and he's going like this, like a kid in Mexico with the beer can.
Yeah.
And then I look and man, this big corbean, and I go, why are you hand lighting it? And he
Yeah.
goes, my line broke. And I go,
Oh.
your line broke? And you like grabbed it before I went? And he goes, no, my line broke. And then this guy snagged my line.
Oh.
And he goes, hey, is this your line? And then the fish was still on there and he wound it in. So that was pretty cool, actually.
That's kind of cool.
So we had some corvina. We had a bunch of small, leverage, that big.
Really?
Yeah, really tiny, right? Like for aquarium, perfect. We had a guitar fish. What else? Perch. And yellowfin croaker. Yeah, he caught a yellowfin croaker and handed it to a kid in the morning. In fact, John Garza's nephew. So good times, man. That was a lot of fun. We're gonna have to do another one of those really soon. All right, Chris Navarro. The new regs limit us to one chucklehead. Chucklehead. Over the weekend, we got our limits immediately and caught well over 100 of them. Kind of reminds me of salmon grouper being endangered. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of complaints about it because the empirical evidence, what you see on every given trip, suggests otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, if they wanted to catch 100 for everybody every trip, they probably could.
Yeah,
There's definitely a lot of them out there, but I mean, that's the rules. That's one of the reasons we have to stay involved. CCA, Star Tournament, all that kind of stuff are really the vehicles that we have to try to, help us with those situations. You were just talking about the sand bass possibility thing. We just have to stay involved with that.
Yeah,
Be
yeah.
informed. Check out the websites. Check out the pages. They have them on all social media, things like that, and be involved, guys.
Yeah, Sam's making a good point, and we were down in San Diego for their Bay Bass tournament, and I had a chance to interview Chris, talk about the Star Tournament, and I talked to, what was his name? I can't remember, but another guy, and they're doing good work, and they're hard workers, and they're really doing a good
Yeah,
job. So,
yeah.
as you say, you got to support them, and they're fun guys, and it's all, you look at that surf fishing video we did, and that's no masterpiece video. It's, pretty basic, but what it shows is a bunch of kids having fun with not
Right.
being on their phones.
Right.
And that is freaking important now,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Right, Michael? So important that this kid actually gets good grades so he can go do that kind of crap. And that's great if you ask me. Because, some boys like Michael, me, I wasn't into the academics either early in life. So you need something to motivate you, and Grandpa out here does a good job in terms of doing that. So good stuff. All right. So Cal Drew says, good evening. Thanks for being here with us. Robert Slagers. Phil, my son and I are going on a 3-day trip on the Vagabond, July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. How many albacore should we plan on catching? Oh, you guys have 100 plus on the
Yeah, I would
the
say.
albies on that trip.
Each.
Let me just kind of lay this out now.
Are they only like 900 miles away now?
Now listen, Sam, just calm down. They're not quite that close, okay? Just relax. So Bob Osborne is a guy, you know him, my roommate. Yeah, I do. Yeah, the guy that gave you all the magazines, taught you how to tie knots, blah, 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 blah. he like loves delving into this, and he puts in a ton of work. I just swipe his work. Of course, he's been wrong for 3 years, so I'm starting to lose confidence in him.
Cheating on the wrong guy.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I'm copying his notes.
Yeah.
So he looks at this block that has been present for several years. It's a warm water block that keeps the albacore from coming in here. It is gone this year. It's not there. At the same very time, Tom Holland, he didn't know what Bob had told me. He sends me a note and says, hey, there's nothing holding them back this year. They're coming. You know, he's talking it up.
Yeah.
Everybody's excited. And then so Osborne went back and started looking until he got back to the last good albacore year, 2010.
Okay.
And that block was there. And in 10, it wasn't there. It looks, he showed me this year and 10, identical. Looks exactly the same. So I say they're coming. God darn it. I don't know. I like, you know, people get like really like upset about like, yeah, like you're making an albacore prediction. One guy said, be very careful. Like, what the hell's going to happen, you know, if I'm wrong again? Nothing, right?
Well, the last guy that predicted albacore, you know? No, I don't know.
Oh, he's dead? Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, do you get that kind of, like if you say, I think the Green Bay Packers are going to take the Super Bowl this year, does anybody ever say, hey, be very careful there? Why? You know, it's like, what the hell?
I don't know.
We're just trying to have a little fun here. I'm going to be wrong again. People like making fun of me. Live free, die free. Hey, Sam, what's your opinion on the Penn Torque reels?
Awesome reels. I actually have a few myself. I've been fishing them since they first came out. I've had great experience with them. You know, when Guadalupe was still open, I was using the size 25 narrow, which is this kind of like smaller medium one. I've caught several 100-pound tuna on that thing. Never let me down. I think it's a great series of reels. It's a very similar series to the Fathom, and the dimensions of them, and basically the gear ratios, line capacities, and just overall design of the reel is very similar to the Fathom. So we do sell a lot more of the Fathoms. They're a lot more affordable, about half the price. But the Torque is the U.S. made version of that reel, so that's why I bought those. But I think they're great reels, you know, and I think it's one of those reels that when you buy one, they just look so nice and they feel so nice, you end up buying another one. But
and they're more affordable, right?
The Torques are definitely not more.
Oh, they're high.
Yeah, they're about $600.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're definitely going to be in the high line level of reels.
Equivalent Shimano is going to be about 600.
Yeah. All the different brands have their highline reels, and they're all the same price.
Yeah.
Just about. Yeah.
But you've got some, so you obviously really like them.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think every brand's highline reels are great. You know, I mean, there's only so many out there, and they're all really, really good. You know, so whether you go Akuma or Daiwa, Shimano, Penn, they're all really, really good reels. So yeah, but as far as those reels specifically, I like them a lot. Now, you know, the question really maybe I would ask you is depending on what you're going to use it for. I know a lot of guys are trying to use those reels, like I was mentioning earlier, for these big tuna. And 100-pound tuna, yeah, you can catch it on those, no problem. You get to that 150, you're kind of pushing the limits of it, and that's one of the things that Captain Alex was mentioning, is that guys were using that Torque 40, which is a relatively small reel when we're talking about this big tuna. And not that you couldn't do it, but you're definitely walking that line, you know. And if you have something bigger in the rack, that's what I'd have in the water. So definitely great reels, but just the physical size of any reel that holds that much line is only going to be able to do so much. So great reels, but if you're looking for that to be your biggest reel for your quiver, I definitely would want to get something bigger than that.
Is Alex running the next trip? Is that what he was going to do, or what?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. Very nice guy. Yeah. And you know, I've been talking to Diego every night. I don't know. I lost track of whether they're going to be out. Maybe they were probably heading in, right? They're going out tonight.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, bitching.
Yeah, I think they're out right now.
Oh, okay, cool. So they got in from that last one. They had 13 fish last night, up to 204. So nice hit for them. So cool. I hope Diego's on there again.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, well, I always love chatting with him. Practice my Espanol. All right, Robert Graber. Good evening, Phil, Sam, Michael, and the Friedman Adventures family. Happy Monday. I sure have missed Tackle Shop Confessions. Good meeting you, Michael, in person. Good job slaying those surffish. So Robert Graber's in town, doesn't have enough time to go fishing, but shows up in the morning with more donuts, man. What can I tell you? 2 dozen donuts. Robert, thanks. You made some people very happy. Look at that smile there. So, Robert, it was great to see you. Thanks for doing that. Always Really, really appreciate everything you do. And our friend Jeff Yeomans. Jeff, thanks for your service. Good evening, Phil and Sam and Michael. Michael, you're just part of Tackle Shop Confessions now. You realize that?
No.
Oh, okay. He didn't realize it. Screw him. Jeff, I think I saw you recently on the Apollo. And yeah, I did, but it's probably been like 2 weeks. But I ran a photo of you. I was happy to see you out there putting the wood to him. Man, we have a lot of questions, 110 people watching. Thank you all so very, very much. Just a quick mention since I'm lost here. The Island Spirit will be out again tomorrow. They had an extraordinarily good day today. Fishing out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Full fare, your buddy goes for half price tomorrow. Ventura Sport Fishing, 805-676-3474. Jose Guevara, he says, hello guys, looking for a rod to surf fish Carolina rigs and throw lucky crafts. Any recommendations?
Yeah, for sure. You know, there's quite a few rods out there that are good. You're going to be looking for something that's going to be in the 8.5 to 10 foot, 8.5 to 9 foot probably. Rated 8 to 17 is going to be your line rating. Those are going to be in the salmon steelhead style of rod. So in the Okuma, they have their new SP rods. It's a Rockaway SP. In the Phoenix, they have, it's called their Trifecta Light, 903, 904, really popular rods. And in those Daiwas, we carry those North Coast rods, and they have them in a 9 foot as well that are about the same thing there. So a couple different rods that you can go with there. We have them all here in stock, so if you want to come check them out.
Did you see what happened to my co-host in Mexico, Paulina?
I did. Oh, she got hooked or something?
Yes, she got hooked. She's so brave.
Man, that's crazy.
You know, Michael was saying, God, that woman is brave.
He was saying that?
Yeah, he was saying, she's so brave. I can't believe
How
she got a
brave?
hook in her leg, and she kept fishing. And he almost cried. He said, she's so brave.
She's so brave.
Yeah, she's brave. Is she brave? Yeah. You see? See?
And she's a liar.
Oh, and she's a liar because he thinks she likes me, so she's a liar because she couldn't possibly like me.
man.
She told
Yes.
Phil that he was strong and handsome. I was clear
She
about
never
it.
told me that.
Clearly.
She knows I have a wife. She would never say that. Ruth doesn't speak English anyway. She's not gonna. Thank God. All right, Angle R. David Rosenthal. David, your pliers were a big hit at our surf fishing event. You know where it's, hey, anybody got any pliers? Angle R. Hey, anybody? Hey, another guy had them. So good to see you here. Good evening. Great to have you with us. Southern Halley. Good evening, senores. Finally, the bluefin tuna are back in Punta Banda during the day. My buddies at Mara's had some good ones, not huge, but good size. Yeah, they're starting to catch some daytime fish. Thank God for those guys.
Yeah, and that might be kind of like, a repeat of what we had, where we had that medium-sized fish and then quickly followed up with some big fish. So maybe all that body of fish is just kind of getting up on the coast now for everybody.
Seems like it. So we got that fish at Punta Banda. There's fish out on the 60-mile bank. I'm not divulging any. Everybody knows this. And that fish got a little squirrely and moved to the butterfly, and so it's bouncing around a little bit. But
Yeah.
you're right, it's kind of everywhere. And the other thing that's going on down there in Ensenada is Foca, our dear friend there at Botes Juanitos. He had 2 big forkies yesterday, throwing the Fieto, so he's catching them on the iron. And I saw several other guys. Arnie Man down there, he had a lot of yellowtail, so that yellow's back on the bite, kind of acting more like springtime.
Yeah.
You know, we got bluefin, and it's good to see that down in Ensenada, 70 miles below the border. There's a lot of great folks down there. And those pongueros down there fish their tails off. That is for sure. Omar says, hey, Sam and Phil, hope all is well. Excited for today's show, Omar. We're excited to have you here. Alan Rushing is with us. Hi, Phil, Sam, and Michael. Looking forward to the El Patron trip on Thursday. Any last-minute secret tips? Well, I think I sent you the captain's advice. He's going to basically do surface and fall back on rockfish. I don't think it's going to be that deep water stuff this time because he wants to give that halibut, yellowtail, bonita, calico bass a good looking over. He says if we don't have any conditions, current's not running right or the water temperature's too cold, then we'll go out and fish shallow water rockfish. But stay in touch on the morning briefing, Alan. As you know, I'll be all over that. Scott Bukert is almost in Alaska.
Is he?
Thank God. Is there another place he could go that would be further away than Alaska? How about Greenland or something like that? Is that further?
I think they still have phones there, though.
Yeah, I know they do. God, Elon Musk with that Starlink really screwed me when it comes to Scott Bucher, let me tell you. How do you catch salmon and halibut?
At the same time?
Yeah. You got to use
They
two-hook
they
Ganya.
call it a high-low rig, I think they call it. Really high and really
The lowest
low.
for the halibut
Yeah.
and the highest for the salmon.
Look up high-low rig.
Are you going to just blow that question off like I'm tempted to
Yes.
do? Yeah, okay, good. Ha ha. Did you see him hit me in the head with paper towels at C4 Sport Fishing? I started the
didn't see
video.
that, no.
Yeah, he's in the back seat just abusing me. Should I admit what I did to him? Poured hot tea all over his hand at the restaurant later on. I got my revenge, man. He was reaching for his Coke and I nailed him. Couple kids, right?
Watch out for you.
Pretty bad, let me
Yeah.
tell you. All right, live free, die free. Hey, you know what? I skipped over something he said because I remember it. Anyway, he said he's the guy that brings everything, the kitchen sink and everything. So I saw that, and sometimes I read past things. I apologize. I get, emotionally distraught after a Scott Bucher thing. Phil, the Hexagon Bar 20 CG Eddie
Ounce.
Bomb
Ounce.
kicked butt.
Yeah.
I ordered a 2-foot, 11.5 bar and
1.5 inch diameter.
1.5 inch diameter. Thank you, Sam. And made some. Boys up in Washington, Seattle area use them for rockfish. They absolutely work great for bluefin tuna. Sam, expand on that since you know exactly what he's talking about and I don't.
So I think what he's talking about is he bought a 1.5 inch diameter hexagon bar. He's cutting it down to whatever length that requires for it to be 20 ounces, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And unless he's using the whole 2-foot bar, I don't know. It probably make 3 out of those 2 feet maybe. But he's saying up north in Seattle, guys use it for rockfish. So it's basically just a hex bar. We actually we sell those things. They're already made where they're cut that way. But that's kind of
really?
an old school ling cod jig. It's nothing really new.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's a big piece of metal. So I don't see why a bluefin wouldn't eat that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Omar makes a very salient comment. He says worms are very nutritious.
They are, aren't they?
Yeah, have you ever had them?
No,
You never have?
I don't think so.
I think I had them
Not
in
on
China.
purpose.
Yeah, really. That's that old Three Stooges thing. Mo asked Larry, "Are you going fishing?" And he says, "Yeah, I think so." And he says, "You got any worms?" He says, "Yeah, but I'm going anyway."
Yeah.
All right. Jose Grafara. I believe Dorado have parasites as well. I think a lot of fish do, don't they?
Wahoo do, yeah.
Yeah, just eat them and be quiet, everybody. Don't worry about it. David Alcantar, Phil and Sam, sitting on a tree, fishing howdy party people, going on a 2-day on the Legend. I'm ready. Get them.
Get 'em.
David, tear them up. David Clark's message was so terrible, he retracted it. Pokey Fishes. Evening, Phil and Sam. I'm looking for a pen rod to go with a Fathom 400 for a big bass setup. Any recomendaciones?
In the Penn brand, I'm not really that familiar with what they have that would fit it. They might have something in their Carnage series, but to be quite honest with you, I don't carry any here in that light. We do carry the Carnage series, probably starting more in the live bait, kind of like a 8 to 9 foot, 12 to 40 pound, which maybe might work for what you're talking about, but they're a little bit larger. They're not really the bait caster style rods that I would recommend for that. We do have a ton of bait caster rods that would work great for that. You're looking for like an 8 foot, 12 to 30, 15 to 40 pound in any of those different brands out there, but nothing in a Penn brand.
By the way, fishing with Brian Wynn was great. He's awesome. We had a really
guy,
good
huh?
time with him. Yeah, he was great. And we have some instructional stuff that he did that we'll be releasing here very soon. And he was fantastic. Good guy, ran a great charter. People on board were fantastic. I want to say hi to everybody I got to meet out there. Some of the guys I knew, but there were many new guys. And they're all crazy about morning briefing and tackle shop confessions, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're really good guys. So it was great to meet you all. And Brian, you are number one. Let's go on with Keith Garrison. Hey, Keith. Hey, Sam and Phil. Thanks, Sam and Matthew, for hooking me up with the big fish setup last weekend. I'm ready for the tuna. You remember Keith?
Keith, yeah, you're gonna get them, man.
Yeah,
You're
is
gonna
he?
get 'em. Yeah.
I hope
think
so.
they're going at the end of the month.
And do you remember what boat he's going on?
I think they are on the Pegasus. I
Okay,
believe, yeah.
Pegasus, they know what they're doing.
There's a chance I might even try to make it on that trip.
Really?
Maybe.
All right, cool.
We'll
Do
have
you
to
know Keith from, or he just came in and went shopping?
I think he knows Matt. He's part of the club.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean that man?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. SC, go Troy. Oh, my God, I'm starting to feel sick. Well, please forgive me, Lord. I'm still a Notre Dame fan. Albert Roy, what are great fishing derby you guys had down at Sunset Beach? Guitar fish you guys caught especially. Albert, we had so much fun. Thank you for recognizing that, and thank you for making that comment. But there's absolutely nothing better than getting the kids out there, because it gives us an excuse to act like kids too, and mess around. One of those kids, who was it? Kicked a bunch of sand in my face. I think it's funny because he didn't mean to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was just fooling around, and I could see by his face he thought I was going to get up and chase him around with a fillet knife. But it's all fun stuff, so it was great. Tuna Kid, hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Michael, good job on the beach the other day. I especially like watching you help other kids with their catch. Oh, that was beautiful, Michael. What's so funny? Here, I think I'm gonna come here. Or you don't want to talk? No. Don't you want to tell this gentleman how much fun it is to help kids and share your love of fishing with others?
What's his name?
It's not important. It's not important what his name is. You just want to talk about how you like helping people. Yeah, his name's Paulina. I think it's Albert. Or no, it's Tuna Kid.
Hey, Tuna Kid.
All right, skip it.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, let me do it for you. I enjoy helping other children because my passion in life is fishing, and I simply want to share my love of fishing with every other child I run into, every other kid, because it's something that I love, and I know they're going to love it too. I'm Michael Limon, and that's my story. All right, Nelson DG. Hi, guys. Good evening. This is Nelson, and I have a question. Nelson, good to have you with us. I would like to know if you've heard of a fishing rod called goofish. Oh, I think that should be with the pissin' fun. Goofish and the pissin' fun, baby. I just bought one and we'll be trying it this coming weekend. Of course you've heard of the goofish.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
You have?
Yeah, they're kind of an internet brand, similar to that Piscifun, I guess, in a way. And
I knew it.
Most noted for, around here, guys buying them for their slow pitch rods. I haven't really tried them or messed around too much with them, but I know that they sell them online. But I'm sure you have a lot of fun with it.
Michael Limon has a question. He wants to know, because he's going to be on our trip Thursday.
Okay.
He wants to know, what do you do for a lingcod?
Sardine. Fish a sardine on a dropper loop, probably.
There you go.
Yeah.
More so than a plastic of any kind? Or
Probably, yeah.
I agree, by
Probably
the way.
best chance. You can definitely get them on a jig, maybe more like a diamond jig or even like a knife jig, maybe like a 250-gram knife jig. You can try that. But probably a live bait of some sort. You can even put 2 live baits on the hook. You get a nice big hook and put like 2 sardines on there. That might give you a little bit better chance.
What size weight? What pound weight and what size hook?
Like a 10-pound weight. No, I'm just kidding. Probably depends
I want
on
to see
how,
this poor guy. He's going to get a hernia.
Yeah,
He'll be
yeah.
the next one.
So he's asking how heavy of a weight, and that's really going to depend on how deep you're fishing and maybe how much current there is. But you may be fishing up to 16 ounces. It just depends on where you guys fish. But probably a couple sardines. If you guys have any mackerel or something like that, might be even good. Or if you guys are getting some small rock cod, you ask the crew, maybe they might slab one out for you. You can maybe try a slab of rock cod too. Sometimes that works pretty good.
All right, very good. And professionals, I will say, agree 100% with Sam De La Torre. I'm talking about Daniel Hadaway on the Island Spirit. I ask him all the time, what's the best way to catch a ling? Or what's the best way? And he says, sardine on a 2-hook, beats fishing
Any
artificials
jig, yeah.
every single day.
Sometimes, there are some places up by Santa Rosa, some of those shallow water spots where
it's
they
instant.
bite.
Yeah.
And you can get them on sardines as well, but you can get them on jigs really good, and up there's a lot of fun. At Catalina, you can get one on a jig for sure, and I definitely think it's more fun, and I would probably try that first, just because it's more fun. But if I was really trying to catch a lingcod, I'd probably just fish the biggest bait you got, and maybe even 2 of them.
All right, very good. Chad Christopher is back again. Chad, good to see you. Phil, Trejo's Donuts are vegan. I'll find a bacon-wrapped tri-tip donut for you on the next fishing trip. That sounds so freaking good, Chad. Thanks again for your kindness and generosity. It was really nice meeting you. Mike Trunk, Mike, we love you, man. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you here tonight. Thank you for being here. I'm on a 3-day trip on Friday. Sam, what outfits do you recommend he brings? And of course, you're going to say heavy, one at least heavy.
For sure heavy, you got to have that. But, we're definitely, going to be probably the same story all summer long is you got to bring it all. Everything from 25 pound to 100 pound, and so, everything, there probably isn't going to be a whole lot of call on a trip like that for like inshore gear. So you can probably leave some of that at home, but some of that inshore gear, like a Tranx 400 or Alexa 400, Alexa 500, things like that might be something that might be useful for maybe throwing a popper or something like that. Later in the year, more so with that yellowfin coming through and being a bigger part of our fishing. But for right now, I definitely would make sure you had everything from 25 to 100 pound and fluorocarbon from, let's say, 25 to at least 60 pound, and make sure you have at least one big heavy a knife jig rig, whether that's a big rail rod or one of these more modern jigging rods, but something heavy for sure.
All right, Mike, have a great trip, my friend. Good to see you here. Brian Lamb, sup, Sam and Phil, gearing up for a 3-day trip on the Intrepid, where Kate caught that 200-plus pounder on her very first bluefin tuna trip. What jigs and setups have been working on the bluefin tuna at night? I'll just throw my 2 cents in because I saw. I mean, and I don't know if everybody on this trip was fishing the HD by West Coast jiggers, but that was extremely effective. I think a lot of guys were fishing it, so obviously.
Yeah.
250 grams, and Rambo said, when we get on this fish, it's going to be in that 20 to 40 fathom range for the most part. That's where it's been hanging. So that's been super effective. Having said
200 to 400 maybe. No, 20 to 40.
20 to 40 fathoms.
That's it?
Yeah, so 120 to 240 feet.
Pretty sharp.
That's where it's been
Yeah.
here recently. That's subject to change tonight or tomorrow or yesterday. Who knows? Having said that, on the 250, there was a guy up in the bow. Joe, we got you falling on your butt. Mackie was right there to record it. Guy fell on his butt, and he asked me if I was going to include it in the video, and I said, hell yeah, I'm going to include it. What do you think, man? Of course I am. Joe was fishing a 400 gram and got a nice big one. I think he had the JP on the bigger jig, but I defer to your expertise.
Yeah, you got to bring it all, Brian. I mean, I would say, make sure you have all the sizes. I think that's has been kind of the message here the last couple of years is it's not so much a color or specific, shape or brand or nothing like that. It definitely taking a variety of sizes. So rather than loading up on a whole bunch of one size, and all the colors, I probably would urge you to make sure you have all the sizes first, and then you can try to fill out all the colors after that. But everything from 200 to 500, you want to have at least a couple of each.
Yeah, and your answer, I bet there's maybe somebody out there going, no, that's an easy answer, bring it all, anybody. But it's so true right now.
Yeah.
If you don't bring it all, you're going to be at a deficit.
And the thing is that, the daytime fishing and the nighttime fishing are worlds apart. Daytime fishing might be 25-pound fly line for a 30-pound fish.
Yep.
And as soon as it gets dark, it's dropping a jig on 100-pound for a 220-pound fish. So, that's just what we have going on. I mean, right now is what we've had going on the last, 8 years, but we're going into that time of fishing with this bluefin where it's all sizes, and granted, some guys don't want to mess around with the smaller fish, and that's fine. You can cut out that smaller gear, 25, 30-pound test maybe even 40-pound, and only bring big gear. So that might be an option that you might want. But if you're out there to try to capitalize on all opportunities, I would say 20-pound would even be something I would consider bringing, or at least a 20-pound fluoro so that you can put that on maybe your 25-pound rig. But almost for sure, 25 to 100-pound, you got to bring. I mean, to me, that's everything. When we say bring it all, I mean, that's about all. You're not bringing gigantic trolling rods or something like that you'd see on, Wicked Tuna or something like that.
Right.
But 25 to 100-pound West Coast style gear for sure.
Perfect. Brian, thank you. Good luck on the Intrepid. Hey, El Patron has trips coming up out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, www.longbeachsportfishing.org to get on the El Patron. Alan is back with us. He says, yes, parasites are common. No problem if the fish is cooked. If serving raw, you need to know how to spot and remove them. Good idea to candle the slices unless you have a commercial grade freezer. If you freeze it, kills it, right?
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't worry me that much. Does it worry you?
No. I've eaten so much fish over the last 10 years. I mean, a lot.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Alan. That is sage advice for us. Sure, Isaac, who was at our surf fishing extravaganza with his kids, tearing up the sand and having fun. Sam, any tips on surf fishing gear and maintenance? The boys are pretty hard on the reel, sand everywhere. Yeah, you just gotta. I watched, and it just there's too much of it going on to like start correcting everybody, but. You gotta lay your friggin' reel on a jacket or a backpack,
Yeah.
because kids are just like it's going in the sand, and man,
I mean, if anything, maybe you could buy a couple of sand spikes.
that's a great idea.
And
Yeah.
maybe just tell them, look, if you're gonna put it down, put it in that sand spike. If you're gonna go run around or whatever, throw it in that sand spike. Because yeah, you're right. When their minds are gonna be shifting around and they get distracted and they just throw that thing down and they're off to whatever they want to do. They're having a good time. But that being said, even with that, even if it stood in the sand spike the whole time, they're still going to be exposed to some salt water, some spray
Yeah.
and some sand. And to be honest with you, there's not much you can do to stop it. The best you can do is maybe take a spray bottle with you, try to spray that thing down during your session, and then when you get back to your car, spray it down again, wipe it down before you take the road home. That stuff drying onto your reel is really what's going to cause the most damage. And to be quite honest with you, unless you're taking the reel fully apart after every trip, you're going to get some sand into the reel. There's just not much you can do to stop it. And we're not talking the sand that you're walking on, the big granules of sand. We're talking about that microscopic stuff that's flying through the air that you can't even see it.
Right.
But you can feel it. Even when you get home, you're going to feel it between your toes and things like that. It's the same stuff that's going to be in your reels. And so the best advice I can give you is try not to spend too much money on the reel. If you can get some stuff, and there's plenty of stuff out there for $40 or something like that, that should last you for sure
A season.
no problem, if not more than that. So, but that spray bottle and keeping your gear, as salt free and sand free as best as possible is all I can tell you. And maybe grab a couple sand spikes, and that could
That's
be
good
kind of a
advice.
home base for if you're going to put that rod down, put it in the sand spike.
Yeah, because these kids are going to run around. In fact, I walked out on the
Yeah.
beach and Dan says to me, "Where's Michael? Have you seen Michael?" I said, "Oh yeah, he's strangling some other kid over in the playground right now. They were over there goofing around, so there's all kinds of stuff." By the way, so I had to run up. I was done. I've been down there since 5 in the morning, and it was like 11. These guys are still fishing, so I've had enough. I'm out of here. So I'm up at the house and I'm editing, trying to get this crap all up on the internet and everything. And all of a sudden, Michael and one of Isaac's kids and Mitchell, this adult, are at the door and they're like, "Hey, Phil, how are you?" And I'm like, "Hey, guys, what's up?" And they go, "Hey, we want to show you these ghost shrimp we just got." And I go, "Oh, yeah. Well, I've seen a ghost shrimp before. What the
Yeah.
hell? So I'm like, "Oh, that's a nice ghost shrimp there,
Yeah.
man. Wow, congratulations." And they're just like staring at me. I go, "Are you guys hungry?" And they're like, "Yeah." Yeah. And I go, "Oh, okay, I get it. Come on in." And broke out the breakfast burritos and everything else. So good stuff with the kids. We always enjoy it. Big Duke X or 10. Hello, boys. Just getting here. Hope I didn't miss too much. You can watch it on the rerun, Big Duke, and it's great to have you here. Our friend Tyler Tanaka is back with us. Sam, a couple of product questions. One, do you carry the tungsten sniper style lures? They're expensive, but they're heavy and small. I'll let you answer that one and then I'll move on to the next one.
Well, I got both the questions there. So
Okay, perfect. And do you carry the new bluefin tuna brand jigs?
So Tyler, not yet on those tungsten jigs. We probably will be bringing them in, and yeah, they are expensive. They don't get too big either. They're they're the sniper style, so they're not as big. But that 180 gram, I think, is about as big as they get. Those things are like $45, no hooks. So you're looking at about a $60 lure or something like that. But they are smaller in profile and they are denser material. So technically, they should be able to get down into those water columns better. But the smaller ones, like those 100-gram ones, I think are going to be the ones that people are going to really want to get into, because for that same 100-gram normal size, you get into almost, I think it's a 2/3 the size. So you're going to be able to present a smaller lure with the same weight, especially if we get into some of that foamer type fishing. And that BFT brand jigs, we do carry them. We do have. I don't have every single.
That's the brand, BFT?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't have every single model that they make, but they have this one that's a real squat kind of lure, which is kind of the popular thing right now. They almost look like a torpedo sinker, really.
Oh, okay.
And but they're a little different, and we do carry those in 300 to 500 gram jigs.
All right. Well over 100 people, sometimes 130 watching tonight. What a great job you're doing, Sam De La Torre. I don't know how Michael's going to take this next question. I don't know if he's going to think the man is being a nice man or if it's competition. But Alan R. says, how's Paulina doing? I hope her hook wound is healing quickly. What do you think?
He's about to get a wound.
Oh, he's going to. I know Alan. He's got a lovely wife. I know his wife, his kids, everybody. Alan, I salute you for being concerned about Paulina. I will make a phone call. Yeah, I'll check on Paulina later and see how she's doing. She's doing good. She was out fishing. I saw just the other day. She was out surf fishing. She's a pretty tough kid, so she's all right. And thanks for asking. David Bitroy. Good evening, Phil and Sam and the Friedman Adventures family. Love you, David. Thank you for being here. Michael Limon wants to know, what color is Paulina's wound? Sam, what color of Lucky Craft you recommend?
For halibut.
Sardine.
For lenguados.
Sardine.
Sardina.
Yeah, there's about 4 or 5 different. Maybe.
You're not a big cherry berry guy?
No, I'm not a big cherry berry guy, but that'd be a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but any of those sardine flavors would be good. And they have 5 or 6 different ones. But yeah, any of those would be good.
Michael, excellent question. Speedy Customs. Good evening, fellas. Hope everyone is doing well. Are we doing wings for dinner tonight? Who's Speedy Customs?
Come on down, Speedy.
Who is that?
He's a good dude. Israel Gutierrez.
Oh.
Really good guy. In fact, his really good buddy, Freddie, is on the way now. He's going to pick up some supplies. that
Oh,
he needs.
cool.
And maybe Freddie can join us for wings too.
Israel, we have a ton of sandwiches here, so you're welcome. I made like 9. You're welcome to have one of those. If we go,
He's buying wings later, so you can wait and get.
well,
here at the end of
Sam's
the show.
buying tonight. I forgot my credit card, Israel. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, just one of those things. All right, yeah, come on down if you want to have a sandwich and sit in on the live show. We'd love to have you, or we'll go over there and
We'll
do
have
some wings later.
Yeah, come on down. We'll get some wings.
I got a thing going on, so you know what that. I haven't mentioned it. You said 4 times, and I still haven't mentioned it. So there you go. All right. Where are we,
Rick
Sam?
L. Rick L.
Rick L. I think we're way up here, right?
More.
Oh my God, there's a lot of freaking questions in here.
Maybe you passed them up.
Hit the like button.
Yeah, hit that like button, everybody, if you don't mind.
You went the wrong way.
All right, hold on. I'm catching up here, folks. Sometimes Albert Roy, Tuna Kid.
Keep going.
Okay. Thank you, Sam.
Right.
Oh, here we are. Yeah, all right. Rick L. Island Tackle did a great job of custom building. I'll read those numbers. It's not too obnoxious. 6480 Seeker rod for me. Sam recommended titanium guides, and the rod looks beautiful. What reel would you recommend for that rod? Rick L., good to have you here.
Yeah, Rick, a whole lot of different options that you can go with that. This is a pretty versatile rod, but you can go with a 2-speed, in those medium size, Talica 20, Speedmaster 20, something like that, even like a Saltiga 40, Saltiga 35, or a Star Drag reel in the same similar size, so it's something like a Torium 20, Trinidad 20, something in that medium size, Saltis 35, Saltis 40 kind of reel. In fact, I think yours was the black and blue one, if I remember correctly, and I think Daiwa makes a black and blue Saltis reel size 40. That'd be pretty good for that.
All right, good stuff. Thank you so much, Rick. Best of luck to you, Steve Bermudez. Thanks. We're going to catch albacore on the El Patron trip on Thursday. Michael Limon may be the first one to catch an albie this year. I don't know about that one, Steve. That seems like a stretch to me. Southern Hallie is begging you all for more likes, and we appreciate that very much. If you don't mind, hit that like button, share these videos with a friend. You can also listen to this tomorrow on Apple Podcast and Spotify. So, of course, that is uploaded after the show uploads to YouTube. I get it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can enjoy it there. Also, Tim Knott. Hey, Phil and Sam, I wanted to get your thoughts on what might be happening at Tanner Bank. Has there been any exploratory trips out there? And what do you think the bluefin might show up? Thank you. So I think some guys actually wandered out there and didn't see anything.
Yeah.
We wandered out to the mushroom and the butterfly, which is getting out that way. Not quite, but kind of getting out that way, and we didn't see anything out there. But this fish is just moving,
Yeah, it's moving, and a lot more fish is kind of moving into our zone. So, there's nothing to say that there isn't something out there, but it's kind of a long ways. There's not a whole lot of plan Bs once you're out there. So, and just a couple of rock hot areas. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that stuff's going to be in that zone, at least somewhat available there in the next month or so. I would think, maybe July for sure.
Yeah.
But it hasn't always concentrated out there. I know the last maybe 3 or 4 years it did, but before that, it was kind of down more in the southern, like the 60-mile bank and places like that. Maybe behind San Clemente. So Cortez and Tanner, they're kind of a long ways. But when it does get set up there, sometimes
it stays
it'll
there.
stay
It seems
there for a
like,
little
right?
bit. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
That used to be a place, Tanner Cortez, that really didn't manifest good fishing until September,
Till the fall,
like August,
fall
September.
trips.
Yeah.
No one would even look at that place until
Wouldn't even
then.
go there.
Yeah.
Kind of like Guadalupe, nobody would look at that until you got into the fall pretty
Yeah.
much. So, yeah, we'll keep our eyes on it, Tim. Hopefully it'll pop up out there pretty soon. Martin M., Phil, thanks for all the awesome content on YouTube. Sam, what's so special about the old gold Trinidad's for iron fishing? They're very similar to the old Tortiums, right? Martin, thank you so much for your lovely comment. Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. The old ones and the new ones are great. I think the old ones, there's definitely a certain ergonomics to them. Best way I can say. They just fit good in your hand. At the time in which they were released, they were pretty much the best star drag reel you can buy. Obviously, that was 30 years ago or something like that they were released, and so we've had a lot of reels come through since then. But they were the king, and in a lot of ways for guys that fished through that era and kind of fished through really kind of the heyday of the jig stick when the Alua was available and just some more local yellowtail fishing. That Gold Trinidad 20 was the best reel on the market that you can buy. It superseded all of the Newells and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not really sure if it really holds that same kind of position, with the modern reels of today, and there's a lot of good reels out there that you can use, and even some of those bait casters and things like that. So the love has been kind of spread out a little bit between them. But the guys who are like the quote-unquote old school type jig guys, they do like that Trinidad 20. It's a really good reel. I have a few of them.
All right, Chris Navarro is back. Thank you, by the way, Martin. That's a great question. Have you learned how to use a bait caster conventional yet, Michael Limon? If not, we got to get Sam, Phil, Grandpa out on the water to show you. We tried to teach Steve P. That failed. Steve couldn't do it, huh?
Yeah.
What's wrong with Steve? You know how to use a conventional reel, right?
I know how to use a bait caster, but I can't cast.
Well, there you go. Well, you'll get there. You keep
get
practicing at it, and yeah, you're doing good. Michael says he's ready for Thursday. Me too. Tell Grandpa to be down there at 3 a.m. Yeah, you guys can catch some mackerel on the docks before we leave. Geez, I had a lot of fun on those docks when I was with my kids.
Yeah.
We just go down there and fill buckets of mackerel and take them up to the fish. That's probably illegal, but we take them up there and they'd feed us. And man, it was so much fun. It was just cheap, free entertainment, man. My kids loved it. Lift pole and mackerel on the docks at berth 55. Omar, I am wondering if you or Sam know of any sport fishing boats that allow you to bleed and sever the nerves, like, how do you pronounce that? Shinkime? Yeah. Ikejime. As you catch your fish. Is that impractical or improper? Thanks. I'm going to tell a story before. There was a guy named Bruce Kuhn. He ran a place called Baja Adventures. This has got to be 40 years ago. And he was on a sport boat and he was going to do that. And I go, no, don't bug these deckhands with that crap. And I wish I never said that to him. Because he was right, man. He had it. So I don't know. What do you think? Are the crews against that, or?
I don't think
a lot of them do it, right?
Well, they
bleed
similar.
them.
Yeah, they do something similar where they'll run the wire down the spine. At least some of the long range boats. But I wouldn't say it's something that you want to put a blanket statement over the whole thing. I think that
you ask the crew guy, hey, is it okay if I
do it myself?
Yeah.
And part of it too is especially when you get into this tuna fishing, that zone in which they're gill and gutting those fish, it's kind of a work area, and
that's right.
And they got fillet knives.
A little dangerous.
Fillet knives are flying around. They really don't want you in there messing around with it too much, especially if you have a live fish that might be flopping around or something like that. But I would definitely bring it along and ask a crew member. Those tools are not very big. You can keep them in your backpack or whatever. And
you could drag it over to the side up midship or something and do it.
Yeah. So I think it's definitely possible, but I definitely would talk to the crew first.
Yeah, and it makes a huge difference in the quality of the fish. So Omar, let us know how that works out. I'd be curious about that. Kim Herbert, has he been by yet? He's coming in June, right? To pick
Yeah.
up yeah.
Yeah.
Kim, great to see you. Hope your daughter is doing great. Also, Sam, looking for a Shimano Speedmaster for Lindsay's new rod. Hey, man, we're on the same track here. What do you recommend? And Braid, mono suggestions. Thanks, Kim. Kim, good to see you here.
I'd probably load that. First of all, I'd choose that Speedmaster 12. And I'd probably load that thing up with some 50-pound braid. That's going to give you a pretty broad variety of options you can use with that rod. So 65 or 50, but I'd probably go with the 50 just so you have a little bit more on there. And then your top shot, it's going to be depending on what's you got going on. But that rod will fish anything from 25 to 40 pound. So you're going to need to kind of make a decision, kind of more of a game time decision. But anything between 25 and 40 on that reel and rod would be good.
Kim, all my best to you and Lindsay. Thank you so much for checking in. And once again, it was great spending 5 days with you on the Independent Slam. And Sammy is here. Sammy, good to see you. Good afternoon, everyone. I had a question. I want to eliminate any type of swivels from my leaders for nighttime tuna fishing. I have an Abbott HX Raptor with 80-pound braid. Could I just go 150 mono to jig?
Definitely, you could. You could crimp it on. Tying 150 mono isn't always that easy. What a lot of guys do nowadays is that they're doing a wind on. Basically putting a leader on their reel, and they're doing 150 or 200 pound, and then they are crimping a split ring onto that. And so what that does is it allows you to change out your jig simply by splitting that split ring and sliding a new jig on. So 150 pound, 200 pound, no problem. 100 pound would probably be all okay some of the time, but I'd probably go at least 150, and preferably just go ahead and do 200, and that'll set you up for anything.
Beautiful, Sammy. Thank you so much for that great question. Tyler Tanaka, sharing some rockfish dope. Stopped on the 60-mile bank since the bluefin and tuna are not playing in the daytime. Use squid tracks. All right, hey, that's working for something. 150 with 16-ounce weight tied to bottom eye, 4 inches down. Added squid strips to the hooks and caught big reds. That's good fishing out there on the 60, man.
Get some big reds over there.
God almighty, that is
big
so
pistachios,
good.
too.
I'm dying for that. Pablo Hidalgo says, hello, guys. Pablo, thanks for being here. Abraham Esparza. Hey, Abraham, good to see you here. Those HD West Coasts are sold out online. Sam, do you carry them?
I don't, but I'm sure I got something similar, yeah.
They are sold out. Wow.
Are they? I don't know.
I don't know
That's
either.
What he's saying, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's
I'm
crazy.
assuming they are.
All right, Brian Lamb, thanks, guys. My back is screaming in the background from hearing Bring It All. Yeah, he's got to lift and carry all that stuff, man. You take Michael Limon with you. He'll carry it all. He's happy to do it. El Cid. Hi, Sam and Phil. This is Furman. Furman with a 40-plus pound yellowtail the other day on board the Fury out of Dana Sportfishing. My memory is correct. That was a gorgeous fish. 3 years ago, I went on 3 trips early in the season and was undergunned and missed out on big fish. Now I get trash talk because I always take 6 rods, even on the daytime trips. Hey, let them talk trash, right?
Yeah, I mean, I doubt it. I mean, I don't ever get talked to like that. I don't know. I mean, maybe you just go with the wrong guys, but I mean, yeah, 6 rods on a 3-day trip, even on an overnight trip. I don't think, especially if that big tuna is part of the program. I mean, it's just I wouldn't be concerned with that for sure.
All right, good stuff. Where are we? El Cid, I'll never be undergunned again. Yeah, that's a great comment, man. Way to go. Nelson DG, Sam, I have a question. Do you carry any surf fishing rods that is 1-piece 9-footer?
I think I have 1 or 2 over there, Phoenix rod. That's about it. It's a 905, I believe, in their Trifecta Pro. But there's not too many of those in the 1-piece. They're just expensive to ship around. So you're not going to find too many of them. Maybe you might have to get a custom rod or something like that. Maybe that might be a way that you can get something like that. But there's just not that many, even blanks available. But I do have a couple here at the shop. They're I believe it's a 905 Trifecta from Phoenix Rods.
All right, Pablo Hidalgo puts a couple of emojis. I have no idea what these emojis mean. I can't read them ever. Do you know what that means?
I don't know.
All right, well, let's ask the kid out there. Mackie, Mackie's out off looking at something else. He's not even watching this show.
Maybe he's looking.
Oh, he doesn't know? You don't know either? All right, Pablo, I know what it means. What does that mean? That emoji.
It looks like that emoji looks like he's shocked.
Oh, he's shocked. Okay.
You guys said.
All right, Sam, don't say that again, whatever you say. Yeah, Pablo, you're dealing with some old timers here. You better just spell it out for us. Steve Bermudez, invest in a cheap sand spike, is a 1.5 inch abs black tube.
ABS, yeah. Jeez.
3 to 4 feet long. Okay, thank you for helping me.
Yeah.
What's he saying?
Well, he's trying to advise.
He's trying to save money.
Yeah.
What,
I'm not sure how much it's going to save you. I think it'll
well,
be,
Steve's kind of a cheap ass, so
yeah.
we agreed right away on that one. There was no argument on that.
Well, just from that comment right there, trying to save on a $5 item, you're going to spend $10 to save $5.
Yeah, and Steve, if you'd learn how to spell, we'd be able to help you more
Yeah.
also, you know? Jeez. It might be that tequila again. Tuna Kid, you better stand up, take your hat off, and say, thank you, Tuna Kid.
Thank you, Tuna Kid.
Tuna Kid, you are number one. He sends us $20, number one. So he's a lovely person. He's not like Steve Bermudez trying to save $3 on some crappy plastic thing. He sends us $20. He says, hey, Michael, just a little something to grab a burger on the boat Thursday. And maybe get a get well card for Paulina. What a nice man, huh? Are you going to get her one?
Yeah.
Oh, well, do that. Well, you want me to deliver it or not?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you. We're going to get your grandpa to go down there with us. All right, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate your kindness and generosity. Julio, S-A-F-A, Julio, S-F. What's up, guys? Would a Macaira 30 SEA work for nighttime fishing? Sam knows me well. Nighttime tuna fishing with knife jigs, Sam, what pound spectra line should I put on it? I voice my comments all the time, so I get that. Don't worry about it. Yes, sir. Okay. I don't know.
Just go ahead.
You read it.
Okay. So I would probably put some 130 Power Pro Depth Hunter Offshore is what I'd put on. So the Depth Hunter Offshore 130 is what I'd put on that thing there. And you're probably going to get about 500 yards, 600 yards, or something like that of that on there. And definitely fill it up. So get the stuff, that Depth Hunter Offshore, it's changes color every 100 feet.
All right, I have a little thing going on here, but Sam said I would mention what is going on 4 times, so I'm not going to mention it even 1 time. And that vague reference that I just made, so I'm a little loopy tonight. So
Yeah.
there, I'm not. That's not mentioning it because I didn't say exactly what it was. Oh, he says it's 1.
You brought it up 4 or 5 times.
I have not.
Yeah.
Just 1. I'll give you 1. All right, another 3. The over/under is 4. Sam put it at. All right, Omar, what pound test did you catch Paulina on? Did you have to use heavy tests or light?
Light.
Why light? Okay. Well, I would, if somebody asked me that and I went with light, I'd say because she is so physically fit and so light that you don't need the heavy line. So there you are. Okay, perfect. Nice question, Omar. I like that. Raul Amaraz. Phil, Sam, you can't believe how many people ask about Paulina and Michael, by the way. Everybody out there is in on this thing. Phil, Sam, what's up? Just bought the Lexa 500 7.1 gears. What rod at your shop would you recommend? Raul, here's your answer.
Yeah, I got a couple different options. I guess you can go with something like a 90J CalStar. You can go with probably what a lot of guys would go with the little smaller diameter rod would be like a United Composites 9E would be a really good one. In fact, really good match for that reel. But there's a couple other ones out there. Maybe like Kuma has a 9-foot jig stick that would work really good. There's a few more, I'm sure, but something in that 9-foot range and something rated 30 to 60, 20 to 50 to 30 to 60 is what I would go with that.
Hey, by the way, if anybody out there wants to put in the comments where you're listening to us from, we always find that entertaining and interesting. So just a thought, and hit that like button. We would appreciate that. Chet Young is in Honolulu listening to us tonight. Chet, you're the man. Aloha, Sam and Phil from Honolulu. What do you think about using salt away to clean up rods, reels, and tackle after trips. It's supposed to neutralize saltwater. Directions say not to rinse after spraying on.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that, to be honest with you. You know, I think just regular water during your trip is probably going to be the best. I think just regular tap water is going to neutralize it just as good. But that salt away is definitely something that guys use for, like on boats and things like that, where maybe you're spraying it into small crevices where you wouldn't be able to reach with your hand. Things like that is going to be really good for that. So maybe on a reel it might be good too. I really don't know exactly if it would cause any kind of damage to like the line or anything else on the reel. But as far as the product itself, I know it's something that's real common in boating. You know, anybody who's kind of cleaning over their outboard or things like that usually uses some product like that too. So it might work.
All right. Michael Limon says he hooked
Mitchell.
Mitchell, in the neck on the first cast of the morning. That was a good hookup, huh? Did Mitchell get mad or was he okay? Oh, okay. That's very nice. Interesting. Okay. Let's move on to another interesting question, and that is Scott Buchert, who says, how do you get bonita? Can I answer that for my wife? She starts with some
insist.
eyeliner and then some cosmetics, and then she looks bonita after that, usually.
Okay.
That's how she gets bonita.
What's the next question?
Oh, you're done with that one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Scott, that's how Ruth gets bonita. I don't know. No, you probably want to try plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Where do you catch cow at? Pastures are a good idea. Central California, when you drive up there, do you ever see all those cows?
Yeah, they're running. And
They're everywhere.
Catch them.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's Scott. That's an excellent place for you to do that. Where do you get the albacore? Vaughn's is they're on sale at Vaughn's this
You have
week.
the little cans, right?
Yep. Are albacore good to
They're
eat?
delicious.
Yeah, they're wonderful. That was 4 good questions.
Yeah.
Scott, you went beyond the Call of Duty tonight to keep this thing going. Everybody, but we just went down to 6 viewers.
Yeah.
Oh, he's coming back with more of this crap too. Angel Garcia, I'm big on optimizing my tackle bag and what I take on the boat. What do you think about the SKB hard case tackle boxes? Ever used them before? Thought about getting it, but they're kind of pricey. By the way, I love Dave Sanderson, but I haven't seen him for many, many years, the guy that started that whole company. You hear that, Dave?
So those SKB boxes, you know, they're definitely a couple of compromises to make, you know, as far as your ultimate goals. They are not the most efficient as far as carrying the most tackle in a smaller space, for sure. That's really not the way they're designed, not what they're for. What they're designed for is for heavy duty use. You know, it's a super heavy duty box. They're going to last you your whole life. In fact, I think they're guaranteed for life. If something happens to it, even if you dropped it and broke it yourself, I think they will fix or replace it.
Really? You mean if you dropped it on Scott's head and it shattered into a million pieces,
I think especially
they'd replace it?
Especially if you did. They might even give you 2 boxes if you did that.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Try that out, everybody.
But so you know, the deal on those SKB boxes is that they'll last forever. Now, with every other type of more efficient tackle storage, which is the tackle bags or backpacks, things like that, they don't last, you know. And so even though you're going to carry more tackle in a smaller space, you're going to be buying that tackle bag over and over the years. So eventually it's going to cost you more. You know, the tackle bags nowadays, $150 to $200 for most of them. And by the time you get 4 or 5 times around on those, you're going to be $700, $600, $800 by the time you finish your career. I have a couple of SKB boxes that I've had for probably 15 years now, or even more, maybe like 20 years. And they're still great, just as good as the day I bought them. So yeah, they don't hold as much tackle, but they'll last forever. Now, one of the things that I would say about those SKB boxes is that they almost force you to only take exactly what you need, because you're only going to be able to fit so much. So, you know, it just depends on your approach. You know, I mean, I still think that if your largest, you know, requirement is to take the most amount of tackle in the smallest amount of space, that's going to be in a soft bag. But you're just going to have to buy one every couple of years, which still isn't a big deal. Even at $150, if you go fishing a lot, it's not going to be your most expensive thing that you have. So that's my 2 cents.
All right. Thank you, Angel, for a great question. Scott Buchert is back with another insightful question, or actually observation this time. He says, Michael, don't fall asleep back there. I see you fall asleep back there. Are you falling asleep back there?
He was.
Oh, he was. Don't forget, you're on camera, man. You can't get away with anything back there. Be careful. All right, Slam Sammy says, do I have to use hollow braid to use wine on leaders?
Yes. No. Well, no. So not how to make them, yes, but not to use them on your reel. You can tie a bimini on your reel and use that the wind on to attach it that way.
All right, very good. Chris Navarro, who's a great guy, comes down here all the time. He's part of our studio audience. I wish he was here tonight. He says he gets all kinds of flack for taking 7 rods on overnights. 20-pound, 30-pound fly line, 40, 50-pound butterfly jig stick, dropper loop for rockfish, nighttime tuna jigging, yo-yo dropper loop. He's got it all. And people give him crap about it.
Nah.
This is a cruel society we live in
Maybe
nowadays.
just a little too sensitive.
I think it's a little jealousy going
too
on.
sensitive.
Yeah, it's too much. It's there's jealousy out there. A man walks on with 7 rods and somebody looks at him and says, I wish I had those 7 rods. And that envy will kill you. It'll tear you apart, Sam. You can't let that get, not you, I mean just people in general. So
Yeah.
be careful about that.
All right.
Okay, I'm starting to lose it here tonight. All right, let's go back to, who?
David.
Yes, David.
Bertois.
Yes, I'm sorry, David Bertois.
Sam.
David Bertois says, Sam, on Penn Fathom 25 2-speed Gen 2, would you spool up with braid backing if you are using it for your 25-pound outfit, or go straight mono? We'll be using it for yellowtail and a tuna.
Yeah, I mean, definitely you can probably put some just straight mono on there. I wouldn't advise it. One of the arguments for or against braid, I think we've kind of gone, way past that, to a great degree. But, nowadays with just the use of spectra, I mean, the reason for it, the reason against it, can be something that you might come up with different reasons. But personally, I think, you should probably have spectra on all your reels, even if you don't like the connection, or you don't like maybe the idea of having spectra go through your hand. You can have a long top shot, maybe even like a 50 or 60 yard top shot. Generally, especially fishing yellowtail, stuff like that, you won't even get that far into your reel, even if you're using straight mono. So the question might come, well, why do I need the spectra if I'm not going to get that far? The reason being is that, let's say you get on a fish and you get in the tangle and you lose 60, 70 yards of line. Now you don't have to replace the rest of it. You could just change that out. Or let's just say 25-pound test and maybe your 30-pound outfit goes out and now you need a 30-pound outfit. You can change your top shot and now your 25-pound outfit becomes a 30-pound outfit. So in my opinion, it gets you back in the game a little bit quicker, so you don't have to change out all your line. Number 2, it makes your gear a little bit more versatile, so you don't have to take as many rods and reels, because with the one, you can load up that reel with braid and then just use a different top shot as you go along through the day. But if you are someone who just doesn't want to use any kind of braid on your reels at all, 25-pound test on that reel, you'll get 300 yards on it, and that should be more than plenty if you just want to kind of avoid the braid altogether.
Great question, David. Thank you very much, Sam. And we go to David Jimenez now, who says, howdy, fellows. Is tonight the night the white sea bass bite? I was talking about that, man. The only reason I'm so freaking high on it is because I've talked to the boys up there in the Channel Islands. God, are they seeing a lot of fish? Like, just so much fish that has lockjaw. It's so frustrating. I know it was either the Gray Light or the Aloha Spirit. He said they threw live squid, they threw flukes, they threw everything, Deans, and couldn't get a freaking bite. We've had a few little flare-ups up there. I know Tucker's had limits, and up there at Santa Barbara, they've had some limit-style fishing. But one of these days, Sam, if all that fish ever bites, and it will, I think, right? Maybe water temp or who knows what, it's going to get insane. Now, we're coming up on a full moon. I'm pretty sure that there's a grunion run. Could be the dark of the moon. I don't know. Is it a full coming up?
Full coming up.
Okay. That's the 23rd is the grunion run, so that should be the full. Sometimes, right around that moon, and if I remember, what did Tucker tell me? Did he tell me 3 days before and 3 days after, or just 3 days after? Anyway.
It's happening.
Imminent.
Yeah.
Imminent, right around that full moon, 23rd. Hang on. Maybe tonight, though. I'm hoping, David, especially if you're going to be out there, I'm really hoping it's going to happen. Jeremy Fontenot. Jeremy, haven't seen you for a while, man. How are you? Good evening, Phil, Sam, Michael, and the Friedman Adventures, family members, friends, or whatever it is. Rod A. from Utah is watching us. So we've got Missouri,
go.
Utah, Honolulu. I love it, man. Thank you so much, Rod. Hey, love you. Christopher Navarro, Redondo Beach, California. Hey, right around the corner. Where you and I, did you start fishing in Redondo? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did. You were on the barge and everything, right? Yep, that's where we cut our teeth, down there in Redondo. Red Pill, hey, Sam and Phil, great show. Sam, any thoughts on the new Macaira sizes for land-based shark fishing? And would you be stocking them? Thanks in advance, fellas. Red Pill, thank you.
I actually don't know that much about that. I think I saw something on some YouTube channel or YouTube page on or something like that, but I'm not really sure what the difference is on them. And since we don't really do any of that kind of fishing here, I don't see myself stocking that reel. Probably something you get online, or maybe, I don't know if he's fishing for that kind of, if he's from another area, maybe he might get him in that area. So yeah, that land-based fishing, I don't know if you know what that is, what they do with that. They fish with these giant sharks. They're like 500-600 pound sharks. They fish them off the beach. They're
just surf fishing for them, right?
They're surf fishing, but they're not like casting. You know, they take like a jet ski or a kayak and they tow out like a big piece of bait or whatever. They catch these big giant hammerhead sharks and tiger sharks and things like that. These giant fish, and they use these like 80 wides, these big giant reels. So not something we do out here. So I don't foresee myself carrying those unless they apply to some other kind of tuna fishing or something like that.
Yeah, my kids were all in Florida. Philip went to Florida, and Conrad, his brother, went, and they were surf fishing, or I guess surf fishing you would call it, but Conrad lost a 100-pound tarpon right up next to the beach. Philip lost a couple of 40. I guess Philip lost everything. Patrick said he was so frustrated. They caught some big sharks. What else they catch? Redfish. Then they went out on a sport boat. He said the captain was like a jerk. He said the guy was like chewing this poor deckhand out, and he said the deckhand was the coolest guy and worked hard and everything. And then Patrick said, hey, what the hell, what's Patrick talking about? Well, this is what he told me. He said, hey, Cap, would you like a beer? And the Cap says, yeah, sure. So Patrick went and got a beer and said, here you go. And he says, I don't drink that crap. So Patrick's like, well, shove it up your nose, you know?
Jeez.
So, yeah, anyway, they got into a Dorado bite, and Philip saw a frigate bird, like, on, something, and he goes, hey, Cap, there might be, and he goes, there's no, and then, so, like, the third time he goes, no, I've seen, like, there's something. They went over there and wide open Dorado, and I've trained that kid well, let me tell you. But it was like 2 to 6 pound Dorado, and he said the guy wouldn't let him bounce him, and he said, come on, I want to put the shame on everybody here. I want to have the better scoring. And they're like, well, let us friggin' bounce these things and put the wood to them. But it sounded like fun. And so they caught tilefish.
Yeah.
And Patrick goes, that looks exactly like a whitefish, which they kind of do. But he said they were really much bigger. So it was really, really cool. Is that Israel?
No, that's Freddie.
Freddie, the rod maker.
That's Israel's sister.
Oh, Israel's sister. Oh, you transitioned into what? Wait a minute. We'll get thrown off YouTube. I'm just kidding, everybody. All right, good to see you, Freddie. Do you want to put your face in here or not? Sure. Come over here and just say hi to everybody. Freddie's. Why don't you talk about Freddie while he stands there and just doesn't move or do anything? There he is.
What can I say about Freddie?
Well, I don't know. Say something. Stay away from Michael, maybe.
He's like a little sister to me.
Oh, beautiful. You got to watch that facial hair there.
No, Freddie is a very, very accomplished rod builder.
Boy, we're on the same track.
Yeah,
yes.
very accomplished rod builder. One of the more sought after rod builders here in the LA area. He's actually here to pick up some guides.
Oh, do you have to go do that or what?
I do have to go do that.
You do right now?
I will do it.
Can you wait a little while?
No, I can wait.
You sure?
Yeah.
He's gonna wait for the wings.
Oh, where did Michael? Oh, you took Michael's seat. Boy, I'll tell you. Oh, you're here for the wings?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Let's see. Where are we? David Jimenez. Oh, David Jimenez says he and his cousin Dave are watching in the check-in line at Channel Island Sportfishing. David, you're number one. Now I really want those sea bass to bite, man. I hope you guys get them. Say hi to everybody up there in the Channel Islands for us. Wish you a fantastic trip, man. I hope you slam dunk 'em. Michael Limon says Paulina's a warrior and so brave. Oh, my God, that woman is something else. Anthony Guerrera, I'm from L.A. South Central. I was fishing J-Pier and got a leopard shark and a showing shark, both 3 feet. And... a what?
Maybe a shovel-nosed shark.
Shovel-nosed shark, yeah. Hey, Anthony, you're number one.
Nice.
Thanks for checking in with us, my friend. Solid resident Shimano Speedmaster 2 filled with 50-pound braid. What would you pair it with? Got a trip on June 2nd on the San Diego out of Seaforth. Sam.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure which of the models you have there, but if it's one of the smaller ones, pair it with something like an 8 to 9 foot, 20 to 50 pound rod. If it's one of the larger ones, you maybe even go with something like 30 to 60, maybe an 8 foot rod. But I hope this tuna. I know that the Seaforth went out looking for those things here during this weekend. I think
Catching big bonita.
Yeah, they said they saw some, but haven't been able to have some captures. So, but it sounds like that stuff's going to start happening for them here.
I think so.
Maybe even this.
Well,
this
you're seeing
next
it down
week or
there,
so.
Punta Banda, our Mexico guys are telling
right on
us.
the beach. Yeah.
So that's a little out of range for them, but
Right.
It'll crawl up.
Yeah. I think they're next.
In the meantime, they've been catching. Yesterday, I had Mexican limits of those giant bonita, and a
yep.
couple yellows. So good stuff, man. What can I say? Cool granddaddy, sweets forever. Abe, he was on our last El Patron trip, and he couldn't wait to sign up for this one.
Nice.
It's going to be good to see you, Phil. Sam, good evening, Friedman Adventures family. Can't wait until Thursday. Finally, get to meet the young man, the myth, the legend, Michael Limon. We'll see you then, he says. That's beautifully put, I must say. And then Michael Limon says, Sam is the best person I've ever met. Sorry, Phil. Right out of the Scott Buchard playbook. Scott does that all the time. So you're on the same level as Scott. Congratulations. AKA the sack. That is Isaac. And you must stand up and take your hat off once again. I'm going to commission Mackie at this point in time to come up with some kind of music we play when we get someone so generous that donates $20 to the chicken wing cause. Isaac, thank you for always supporting us. Next time you donate, we will have some dramatic music that Mackie cues up in the background. He says, go get some wings and keep Paulina out of it. Ren is a spider hitch knot and cat paw connection to your swivel on 200-pound leader, good for nighttime. BFT.
Yeah,
I think Freddie's putting stuff in his pocket over there.
Yeah, I've never tried that, so I'm not really sure. If you're gonna tie your mono, I'm not sure if you're tying mono 200-pound, which would be kind of hard to tie, or you're tying maybe 200-pound spectra. So that 200-pound leader, let's see, spider hitch knot and cat paw connection to your swivel. If you want to tie your braid to your swivel, what I would do is just do like a double San Diego with about 20 turns is what I would do to tie your swivel. Yeah, I think that's what you're talking. Maybe tie into a swivel that's part of your bite leader. So I personally would do a double San Diego with about 20 turns, but maybe the way that you're talking about might work too. I've never tried it.
Great show tonight. Hundreds of people watching all night long. We deeply appreciate it all around the nation and the world for that matter. Sam and I appreciate you coming to Tackle Shop Confessions. It's been a lot of fun. Carlos Sanchez joins us now. He says, what's up, fellas? Do you guys prefer fishing for tuna or white sea bass and halibut? Sam, or do you, I'll go after you?
No preference. Yeah, when it's a tuna trip, I want to fish for tuna. When it's a sea bass trip, I want to fish for sea bass. Yeah. I mean, one of the things I always try to recommend to people is if you fish for what's biting, you're going to have a good time.
You're never going to be disappointed.
Yeah, a lot of times guys go on an overnight trip and they're like, oh, man, and we didn't even catch any yellowtail. Well, sometimes they just don't bite, but maybe something else was biting. If you concentrate on that, you'll have a good time. So, yeah, I fish for whatever's biting.
And I concur 100% with Sam. I love fishing all those species. I used to kind of be a tuna do-or-die guy. I used to love San Diego. But now, man, yeah, I'm into rockfish, and I don't get to fish that often anymore.
Yeah.
But, rockfish I love, and I love sea bass fishing, and I love catching forkies. Yellows are fun. It's like you say, man, whatever. And if you have that attitude, just on a purely rational level, you're never going to be sad.
Disappointed, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to like, oh, that was cool. Yellows didn't bite, but we loaded up on the cod or whatever. So yeah, that's where we're at, Carlos. Hope you are too. Albert Ponce. Albert added so much fun and excitement with his wife, Crystal. And who else was with you, Albert? I forget that guy's name, but he was awesome. They were on that last one. He says, good evening, fellas. Good to see you again. You too, Albert, Christopher, Navarro. Friedman Adventures, Grunion Run. Very, very early morning briefing. Surf Fishing Podcast. Christopher keeps trying to get me to do that. Man, that is past my bedtime. But we're going to have to do that. So that would be Dan Light foot or whatever you are, as Scott calls you, Dan. Oh, I can't say that. We will get thrown off YouTube. We'll get back on our El Patron trip Thursday night, and then we go grunion hunting after that. If you oh, he's saying yes. He's saying yes. Oh, you may get your wish, Christopher. Oh my God, what am I getting myself into? Edward Bernal is in Tejas, Texas, watching. Edward, thank you so very much in the great state of Texas. It's great to have you with us. Omar, is Alexa 500 too small for a 30 or 40 pound jig stick for the iron? I say no, but I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, that's fine. Yeah. I mean, it's generally on the smaller side of what you would be, consider acceptable. And if you wanted to use a bait caster, it holds just as much line as a Tranx 500, so should be no problem at all.
Man, you gotta love Hector. He's watching from 562 area code, sounds like Long Beach, California. And he says, best show on YouTube. Sam, give me 5. Michael, you're a big part of this. A little part, but you're doing good back there, I'll tell you. Good stuff. Hector, thank you so much. Ken Trenholm, another great Friedman Adventures family member from bluegill to bluefin. Let's just go fishing, right?
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, he's just talking about catching anything and having fun with it. My kids are totally like that. They can fish for absolutely anything. In fact, I don't know. I've seen Philip catch big tuna and Patrick, and then we're down catching perch in the surf in Baja, and same enthusiasm.
Yeah.
It's all great stuff. Omar, why is it pronounced bonita but spelled bonito? It should be pronounced bonito, but I don't know why. I think that was like a thing fisherman guy kind of caught up in, right? Bonita. You always say that, but it's really the proper name is bonito. Yes. When Scott tries to get bonito, do you know how he does it? Not with a bubble and feather. No, he's like
plastic surgery?
Rosy Jack. Yeah, plastic surgery. That's how he does it. All right. Let's see. That's a good question. I don't know. It's just something that's stuck, it seems like. Anthony Guerrera, Cast King, Caspin, SE, Saltwater, 8,000. Is it a good for yellowtail?
I'm not sure with that brand there. I think that's kind of one of those
Piss and fun things?
Yeah, Amazon kind of, cheaper brands. So, I mean, can it catch a yellowtail? Possibly, I mean, the yellowtail, they start off this little. So, by definition, yeah, it can be a good yellowtail reel, but you get into some big yellowtail. I'm not really sure how good those reels are at all, yeah.
Barbara Rivera. Do you know who that is?
No.
Your mom. Take your hat off and salute your mother and tell her thank you for watching the show.
Thank you for watching, Mom.
All right, thanks for lending Michael to us for another night. We get better ratings with him back there, so thank you so much. All right, Richie Rich. Started my fishing journey at Redondo with my grandpa when they used to rent out the wooden skiffs, now boats with the wooden bait tanks. Then went to fish on the Redondo barge over the years. Same exact thing for me, right? Start on the pier, and then, like Dan saying, just about everybody, man. We pissed off. We really got the guys on the skiffs mad at us once. We went out. You're not supposed to go out of the harbor. We went out and destroyed the pinback sharks. We must have had we almost sank the thing. We came in with all these stupid sharks, and we what are you going to do with them for one thing? And they're hey, you guys are not catching those in the harbor. You're outside there. You're not supposed to go out there. And we're like, oh, no, it was wide open in the harbor. I don't know what happened. But what about them?
Yeah, I think those things too, because of the way that, at least on the barge, they would, you clean all those fish on the cleaning table there, and it all gets kind of put down, and those pinback sharks would just school up, and you just catch one after another.
Wail on them, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, Fish with Ish is a 200-pound fluoro 2 light for reverse dropper loop for halibut casting 4 ounce at Catalina, or should I go heavier? 20 pound, yes.
20 pounds, all right. Yeah, I think
200
you're good. Yeah.
200 is a little heavy.
Or 200 pounds.
Yeah, that's a little heavy. Fish with this.
800-pound halibut they're getting over there. Yeah.
Live free or die free. The man that brings the kitchen sink. Sam, do you have any VMC inline Southern tuna 9.0 hooks?
I've never seen them inline and Southern. So the ones that we have VMC inline hooks, and we have VMC Southern tuna hooks, but I haven't seen any inline Southern tuna hooks. So maybe it's a new product, something I've missed, but I know we have either of those. I don't think we have one in both, and we do have them in a 9.0.
Isaac, who contributed $20 to our festivities tonight. Isaac, thanks again. Wants to know, Sam, what are the pros and cons of roller guides? That's kind of gone by the wayside, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
it has. I mean, the biggest con, I guess, would be that they're heavier. I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons people don't use them anymore. And we're using a lot longer rods, so you'd have way more guides on there, and it'd be that much heavier. A 5.5-foot rod is going to only use so many of those guides. You get into these 7.5-foot rods, there's just going to be a lot of big guides on there. The other part of it too is the spectra isn't as affected. It's not as there isn't as much friction on the guides that you need to overcome with the mono, because it's a larger diameter. There's more contact area that it's rubbing across, more surface area. You did have a lot more friction, and the roller guide would by definition roll the line over what you're trying to fight that fish. So it would make it easier to wind in a fish that was under a lot of pressure. These like I said, with Spectra, you just don't have as much friction. It's a lot smoother, and it's a lot smaller diameter. So even though by definition it would be easier to roll it over a roller guide than it would be to drag it across a ring guide, the difference isn't as much as it used to be back in the day with a straight mono. So most guys are going to go with the straight ring guides because they're going to be lighter and cheaper too, I think.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, Isaac, for a great question. Hit that like button, everybody, and don't forget to share this show with someone you love or hate. We really don't care. Just share it with somebody. All right, Carlos G, been watching you guys for a long time, but finally able to say, hola, Carlos, thank you so much. So many people like Carlos who are our supporters, and we finally get to say hola. Gracias, Carlos. Gusto verte tonight with us. It's great. Chris Navarro says, Freddie, since you're on camera, I've got a rod guide question. Do you think titanium guides are worth buying for a custom rod? Freddie, please come in here. Freddie Magana, right?
Yep, that's me.
Freddie. Nice. Welcome to the show.
Is it Christopher that answered?
That's Christopher Navarro.
I think the titanium guides, there's a lot of options out there.
Hold that closer up there. Yeah.
A lot of options. American Tackle makes some, Fuji and Alps. For a wide variety of rods, from bass rods to some of these heavy rail rods that we're using out here for this bluefin. I think it comes into play really well if you're one of those guys that, I'm going to wash it tomorrow after that trip. And tomorrow turns into 2 weeks or to a month, and that rod isn't getting washed, and that's where corrosion really sets into these rods, where, you'll start seeing all these little rust stains on your guides, and your guide wraps are, they just don't look how they look when they were brand new. So I think the titanium gives you the benefit of, well, you could not wash that rod for 5 years if you wanted to, and it's gonna look brand new like the day you bought it. So in that case, I think it is worth the extra cost, especially if you're buying a custom built rod. But it is an expensive jump to get into a titanium guide, but definitely worth it, worth the investment if you're already spending the hundreds of dollars to get a custom rod built.
How much more expensive?
On like, let's say a 8-foot bait stick, like a 40-pound bait stick, on a Fuji guide set, you're probably looking at about $50 to $60 for a guide set. On a titanium guide set, let's say even just an American Tackle or Alps, you're looking easily in the $125, $150 range.
Okay, very good.
But if you think about it in the long term of it,
Sure.
you're saving money in the sense that, you're not replacing guides that are rusting, and your rod's gonna look like the day you bought it. Sam has a rod that he hasn't washed in like 5 years to prove a point that the titanium guide does work for that reason.
No, Sam didn't do it to prove a point. He's lazy. He didn't wash his rod.
That could
Who are
be
you
it
trying
too.
to
That
kid?
could be too. And I'm
I'm going to prove a point and never wash my rod again.
I'm a big believer in the titanium. If that is it within the person's budget to make that jump,
Yeah.
I would say for sure consider that as an option. And there's different tiers: American Tackle, Alps, and Fuji, and they all have different price points. So there's some that are lower price points, higher price point.
Freddie, you do exquisite work. I've seen your work. It's beautiful. If somebody wants to contact you, and we'll get you, if you have a question for Freddie, Sam and I will, put him on again. But how do we get in contact with you for a custom
On my
wrapped rod?
Instagram, C_Sicario. That's probably the best way to get a
You
hold
better
of me.
Sicario, man. You're scaring me now. You better spell Sicario for
It's
everything.
Sicario. That's probably the best way. If I don't get back to you, just keep sending me messages. I am super busy, but I would love to build you guys a rod, if that's a possibility.
All right, Freddie Magana, also a Sicario. I just learned that. Scares the hell out of me, man. All right, thanks, Freddie.
No problem.
All right,
Thank
Sam's
you.
back, and then you'll probably get some more questions. So don't go too far.
So,
Michael's mad you took his spot.
So yeah, 5 years ago, remember we started that. We said you don't wash your rods and I won't wash my rods, and
Yeah.
we'll see after 5 years how they go.
I thought it was take a shower. So
Oh.
I haven't taken a shower for 5 years. Yeah. All right. Is that it?
No,
No, I know, man. We got hundreds of people watching tonight. Thank you so very, very much. And lots of questions to go. And we appreciate all the great questions coming in here. Is it Chris Navarro? Is that where we are? Oh, no. We are live free and die free VMC inline Southern Tuna Hook. 87,943.90.
So that this is the 8700 hook here. So from VMC. And
Oh, our hand model is here.
and-
She is
and
cute. Look at those dainty hands.
Now this is an inline hook,
Woo.
which is a little bit different. But the VMC 90, that's I don't know if that was a 90 that I grabbed, but that's the 8700 model. So it looks like we have
Thank you,
both,
Mackie.
but they are different, a different hook. Unless they've come out with a like an 8700 inline. Not sure exactly if you're using it to replace a certain jig hook or something like that, but maybe comment on that, what you're going to use it for. Maybe we can kind of narrow it down.
All right, very good. Doug Rubin, El Sueño. Hey, Doug, good to see you down there in beautiful San Diego, California. Hey, guys, Sam, do you sell the pipe that fits in the rod holder to fight big tuna? That is my friend, who is that? I can't remember his name right now.
Joe Russo.
Joe Russo. Sorry, Joe. Joe Russo, yes.
Yeah,
You don't,
Realis's
do
pipe.
you sell
No,
those?
we haven't got them in yet. I know I was talking to the rep here, and so I think they were going to work on a display to have them here at the shop to show how they work. So we will be carrying them. I don't have any right now, though.
And Doug Rubin says he just made chicken wings for dinner. So we have to head down to San Diego, man.
go.
Move over, Doug. We're coming down that way. Chicken dance for $20 donations. Chris Navarro says, do a chicken dance right now. You're going to just do something. Go like this. Come on. Do a chicken dance.
Do a chicken noise.
Oh, stand up and because Paulina's watching. She nothing that warms her heart more than a chicken.
She loves chicken.
Okay. Make a chicken noise. Can you?
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Cock-a-doodle-doo. Yeah, like the morning briefing.
Yeah.
I think that's a rooster, but that'll work. All right, Chris, send your $20 in. Come on. Walter Mazatlan. Phil, your videos from the past weekend's tuna trip with Brian were gold. Stayed up late to watch your updates. Hope to go on a trip you're on, maybe be my good luck charm. Hey, Walter, right on. I love you, man. You know how many people watch that all day long? I mean, those things got 8,000 views, 10,000 views. And there were guys, Mackey's heard it, I've heard it. Like, dude, we had to see the conclusion. You weren't catching anything, you weren't seeing anything. All of a sudden the fleet's there. And then all of a sudden the Shogun's stopping on fish. Man, that was a lot of fun doing that, Walter. And thank you so much for staying with us. And it was just it was really cool to bring it. And I got to tell you, Mackey, I couldn't have done it without him. He doesn't like being on the camera, or I'd have him come out here and do a chicken dance also. But yeah, I'm telling you, really good stuff. So we'll see how good your chicken dance was. Walter, thanks again. Really, really appreciate that. Johnny Gomez, right?
Gomez.
Yeah, because I said, what did I say?
Gomes.
Gomes. It's Gomes.
Yeah.
Because you were right, and I thought it was something else. Johnny, I'm not going to say your last name. Can the shop spool up reels in a metered braid, different sizes?
Yes, yeah, we have it. Everything from, I think, 20 pound up to 130 pound, maybe 200 pound even, yeah.
Slammin' Sammy says, I want to pair my Penn Fathom 25 narrow with a Seeker pinhead, 7 foot, 30 to 60 pound rating for my 40 pounds live bait. Do you think it's appropriate rod for my reel?
Sure. That sounds good to me.
What the hell is that kind of an answer? Yeah.
Well, he asked for a yes or no answer. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess he did. Well, I'm sorry.
Did you read the question and also listen
I'm
to
not.
the question?
Oh
as
wait,
you
I
were
can't.
reading it?
I'm not going to say what's going on here. I forgot. Excellent question and a beautiful answer. Yes, I like that.
You've alluded 4 times already.
No,
So
I
we
haven't.
have met-
No.
We have met the threshold.
Ask the question out there. What's going on with me? And nobody could answer it because I haven't mentioned it. Oh, I feel like crap. Anyway, let's see. Where are we now? I think we're with Carlos Sanchez, right?
Yeah.
Carlos, Sam, do you guys service reels at your tackle shop?
Yeah, Peter Chang over here. He does the reels here. And
Peter's a great guy, by the way.
super good guy. He's super knowledgeable. As far as different brands and all that kind of stuff. And we do stock a bunch of parts here, so we can typically get your reels out pretty quick. Usually less than 2 weeks, and most often less than a week even. So, bring them on down, and we will start getting busy here in the next couple weeks. As soon as the summer school starts here and kids start going fishing and things like that, families start going, we start seeing those reels start stacking up. But for right now, I think you're still in good shape. Bring them on down.
All right, Hector Baca is watching us from El Paso, Texas. Hector, thank you so much. He grew up in Oceanside. He needs a Trocar hat. Hey, send me a text and we'll see what we can do to make that happen. We'll be fishing with Trocar hooks on our trip on the El Patron for sure. We love Trocar. They do a fabulous job. Hector, thank you so much. Another guy from Texas watching the show. Kai, fish killer, do you think the Cuda bite on the jig will be back this year? I say absolutely. But Sam, what do you say?
Starting next week, they're going to start biting.
Woohoo! So,
It might be over by the end of the week. So.
oh my God, man, you joke about that, but frickin'
Yep.
in the old days they hung out for months. And now you get a big shot of gar, it's biting full speed, and then
Gone.
gone.
Yeah.
Let's hope it's not like that. But I guess what Sam is alluding to and what your strategy should be is when they're biting, you better go.
I mean, the first day you see them, go.
Yeah.
You see more than 10, time to go. Yeah.
All right, Chris Inslee. Hi, Sam and Phil. Hey, Chris. Good to see you. We'll be heading to SoCal Friday, going for bluefin tuna on the Intrepid Sunday. I hope to stop by Island Fishing Tqckle on the way back home to get some supplies. Cheers, Chris. Let me know when you're going to be here. I'll try to be here too. I would love to shake your hand and say thank you to you. Jeremy Fontanet, doing good. Thanks for asking. Been busy with life. Yeah, we know how that is. Looking to go out to South 9 in a couple of weeks and doing some rock fishing out on the 9 Mile Bank. It's been good fishing out there down in San Diego. Christopher Navarro has the verdict on your chicken dance, I'm guessing. 20 jumping jacks to earn $20 for roses for Paulina or for SoCal Wings. Is that another 20 he's talking about?
Yes, yeah.
20 jumping jacks, please. Ready? 1. Oh, you got to empty your pockets. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. He did it, Chris. What do you want? The $20 for chicken wings or Paulina? Paulina is getting some rosas de su amor, Miguel.
That's 40 for her already.
Oy, oy, oy. Try and get it, let me tell you. Yeah. I'll give her some roses for you. Here you go, Paulina. This is from me for you because I'm not mentioning Michael one bit. No, we'll mention it. We'll get you some flowers down there. Next time we're down there, we'll get flowers and give them to Paulina and make a big presentation about it. Kai Fish Killer, what about maintenance on roller guides? How often do you need to oil and clean them?
No, not that often. I'd say once a year, but if you keep them clean during the year, you should be able to last for years and years without needing any real maintenance. But always inspect them at the beginning of the season, and if any of them are a little bit tight, you can give them a little bit of maintenance pretty easily. They're going to have 2 screws on each side which hold them together, and you can easily take them apart and clean them up. So pretty easy to do as long as you do it when they need it. But typically over a year's time, you shouldn't need to do it in the middle of the season for sure.
All right, very good, man. These guys, I'm not going to have to bartend on the side here pretty soon if all this money keeps rolling in, man. I'll tell you. Yeah, I can tell you a funny story about that. Yeah, I can't get any. I was at the fair, and it was right before the crowd was going to come in, and Daniel Hadaway goes, "Hey, I want to go live with you." So I'm like, "God, the band's playing
Yeah,
too
yeah.
loud here," and I tried to go behind, and there was no. So I went up in the grandstands, and I'm sitting there doing a live thing with him, and here comes a security guy, and he's like, and I'm like, I'm showing my badge. He goes, "Okay," and then another security guy. Same thing, and then the head security guy shows up and he goes, "Oh, I know that guy. He's good." So I was able to bring the very latest and probably get fired at the fair. Who knows? What about? Oh no, Carlos G on Saturday caught a nice 26-inch halibut from the surf.
Nice.
That's awesome. On the Berkeley Gulp, poor Mackie is sneezing with his allergy. Sandworm, bloody. First time I bring one home, and oh my God, ceviche came out so good. CPR a lot. Catch,
Photograph.
yeah, photograph and release. But yeah, they're good. Halibut is one of my favorite fish to eat. Do you like them?
Pretty good.
They're
Yeah,
really
I don't
good.
know if anybody doesn't like halibut.
I know. They're really, really good. Chris Navarro says, Freddie, that was a great answer. In fact, Chris says, may have been one of the greatest answers he's ever heard in his life.
Yeah.
And he's heard a lot of answers before, but I mean,
It might be the
he's going
answer.
crazy about you.
Might be the answer.
Yeah, I think it's worth $20, Chris. Get some more chicken wings. We'll shoot it over here. We're getting low on questions, and you know what that means? We're almost out of here, everybody. So if you have any questions, fire them in here because Sam and I have had a great time with all of you tonight. It has been fantastic. Dave Clark. Sam, do you think when fishing a sinker rig, I could crimp my 150-pound fluoro to the ringed circle hook, or should I just tie straight to the anzuelo?
So if you're using 150 pound, I haven't heard of too many guys getting bit on 150 pound on bait. So we'll start there. But if you were going to use 150 pound on bait, I probably wouldn't need to have a circle hook because I would probably just crimp that 150 pound right to your hook, without you going or needing a circle or needing a ring. So that'd be the one part. But backing up a little bit, usually 100 pound is about as heavy as I've heard of guys hooking these tuna on. But heck, if you could hook them on 150, even better. But you wouldn't need to have a ring on there if you're doing a crimp, and I probably would just crimp it.
All right, great question, Dave. Thank you so much. Jeremy Fontenot is back with us. He's a great guy. Jeremy, thank you for your service, my friend. Really appreciate it. All you do for the country and for all of us. Sam should put on, and he's talking to Freddie Magana again. I'm going to just surmise that he is. He says, you guys should put on a rod building workshop.
I know, we should, huh?
Like you don't have enough to do? Have you thought about that? I think
about it every day. Every day when I wake
And
up.
then you just,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, it
just
goes
go
right.
right back down the list.
Jeremy, I don't know, man.
One day, though.
One day.
It's always on the list for sure. It's something that, we carry a lot of rod building supplies here, and so we definitely have a reason to do it. Just got to get around to doing it.
Yeah, and you have a perfect guy here, Freddie.
He is so perfect.
Oh, he's so perfect.
Of all
And it was the best. What was it? The best
He's
answer?
almost a guy.
Yeah. He's your daughter or your what? You were saying that,
Like a
weren't you?
little sister.
Like a little sister. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Well, we'll have to get into that later, Freddie. There's something I don't know about you. We are definitely going to get kicked off YouTube. All right. Delman Lazar. Sam, thank you so much for being here, Delman. Sam, do you think I'd be good running 80-pound top shot on these tuna tonight? Oh, he's fishing tuna tonight. You better
Yeah.
get this guy doped up here, man.
If you're doing your a sinker rig, that'd be appropriate, 80 pound. But if you have if you're fishing that big tuna on the knife jigs or any kind of jig, there's really no reason to use less than 200 pound leader on your rig. So, and especially, try to use some bigger gear. If you don't have it, if you're down there at the landing, getting ready to go on your trip, go into the landing there, see what they have for rent. I definitely would make sure you get a hold of something big.
Hey, Delman, if you get a chance, tell us where you're at, man. We'd be curious to know what boat you're on. I'll follow it tomorrow, and we wish you the very best of luck. GE83. What's up, guys? New here. Hey, welcome. Thank you for being here tonight. Really appreciate it. Just bought a jigging rod, PE 2-4, 100 to 200 gram, max 25 kg. What size tuna do you think he can catch with that. Thank you so much for joining us, first timer.
That rod's rated for basically like a 30 to 40 pound test. That's what the braid rating is. You know, the PE 2 to 4, like 25 to, let's say, even 50 pound braid. So, you know, whatever size fish that can handle. That's kind of on the lighter side. The guys that are targeting the big tuna are using maybe a 6 to 8 or 4 to 6 minimum, maybe 6 to 8, even 8 to 10 on these really big fish. But you know, without seeing the rod, you know, every different brand of rod has their own way of measuring its capability. You know, I'd say you'd probably be good up to about a 40, 50 pound tuna with that thing.
All right, very, very good. Chris Navarro says, good night, guys. I look forward to this podcast every Monday. See you soon, Chris. Thanks for your kindness and generosity. Hopefully you'll be here for the live studio audience next Monday night. Jeremy says, thanks, Phil. Retiring from the Navy in a couple of weeks. God bless you, Jeremy. God bless all the men and women in our armed forces who keep us safe all the time. Without you, this place wouldn't exist. And I'm talking about the USA. Delman says, I have a Pen 50W 130, but shoot, it's hard to use all night. Yeah, for sure. I'm actually going on the XL this weekend. I figured it'd be the same type we'd run into over the weekend. XL, man, they've been putting the wood to them. Hope you have a great trip.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I get it. It's a lot of gear, you know, and maybe they can rent something that's not as big but heavier than the 80 pound. But if it was me, I definitely would be picking up that 50 wide. And maybe that means you're going to maybe not drop as many times, but every time you drop, you're going to be dropping with the assurance that whatever you hook, man, you got them. So make all the effort to try to use that 50 wide. You may not be able to fish all night anyway. Sometimes we talk about it that way, like if you're literally winding all night, every minute of the night. That's not really the case. The boat is usually looking around. If they're not catching fish, they're going to look for another school. So you're not really using it all night in that way. But just do all the effort you can to be on the biggest gear, especially if you see guys starting to hook big fish. You know, the last thing you want to do is not get that one out of the rack, and make sure you take it with you.
All right, good stuff. Sam, I don't know if I've told you this, but Friedman Adventures family, that's everybody out there sending all that stuff to Mexico. But the other day, this girl gets in contact with me. I know her, and she's a good kid, hard worker, car broke down, has no way to get to work, needs a bike. I put up a post. Not much longer after that, one of the Friedman Adventures family says, need a bike to go to work? Give me an address. So I get in touch with her again. What's your address? You see an Amazon order, brand new bike shipped out to this girl. I don't have the words to say thank you. Wants to remain anonymous. Doesn't want anybody to know who it is. Beautiful stuff, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you got to love that. So you know who you are, and maybe you're watching, and thank you so very much. Really, really appreciate it. Sir, Hook Up Daily. How would you recommend rigging a 300-gram SK jig? Thank you so much. Thanks for being here.
You know, 200-pound bite leader and some heavy-duty assist hooks. You know, I mean, it's pretty simple, really. You know, nothing too fancy on that. You know, different brands make some different heavy-duty hooks. Mustad makes some good ones. That BFT brand makes some good ones. Taddy makes some good ones too. And just probably the biggest part of it is adding that 200-pound bite leader. You never know when you can hook a big one.
What the hell's going on here? Everybody's sneezing
out
in
there,
here. Yeah. Now Dan Lightfoot is sneezing. Mackie started it, and now Dan Lightfoot is. Too bad we don't have a camera, though, where we can get that. Freddie's next. I know. He's going to... Probably me who's next. All right. And GE83, who is brand new to the show, and once again, thank you so much. He says, thank you very, very much.
Just so we kind of one thing I was thinking as I was reading through the comments here, and he was asking about what size of fish his rod would handle. I think last year there was a guy on my trip that was using what I think would probably be a similar rod to what you're describing. He got a couple of fish that were over 100 pounds, so maybe you could extend that a little bit as to what it can handle. Now, it wasn't ideal. The guy had to struggle a little bit to get that fish in with that lighter setup, but he got it. So it's possible for sure. Even a 100-pound tuna you can get with that.
All right. Once again, we really appreciate you joining us for the first time. Carlos G. Tranks 500 left-handed. Is Shimano ever going to build one, Sam?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so, but I don't really know. I mean, it's not something that they, ask us or tell us about. But they got, that Lexo 500, it's available on left hand. So I just pick one of those up.
Chris Navarro, Tackle Shop Confession Shop on Monday. It's a holiday weekend, I believe. If not, have a great Memorial Day weekend. Are you going to be here Monday? Open?
That's true. Yeah, maybe, maybe not. I don't
You're going to be
think so.
closed, maybe?
Probably, yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll figure it out. We'll
Figure
let
it
you
out.
know, everybody. Tim P., is it going to be a zoo on the ocean this weekend? More than likely, yes.
I sure hope so. There's gonna be a little bit of wind coming, but we'll have to see.
Is there wind? I didn't look.
think, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that. So probably it's going to be pretty crowded. I know, heck, we're out there
Should
on.
be, yeah, Memorial Day weekend, man. I mean,
Yeah, that too. I forgot about that. Yeah, it's going to be a complete zoo, as a matter of fact, now that you
just
mentioned
stay
it.
home.
Yeah, don't go anywhere.
Yeah, don't
Stay
leave
on your
room.
couch.
Yeah, yeah. You don't have to see anybody or do anything.
I don't think Tim meant that. He just wants to know. Jaime Fernandez Jr. just jumping on late to the party. Jaime, good to see you here. What are you going to do for Sam's birthday this week, Phil? ¿Cuándo es tu cumpleaños?
That's this week.
¿Qué fecha?
Middle of the week.
¿Qué fecha? ¿Miércoles? ¿Miércoles?
It's this week.
Is it miércoles?
It could be.
It is miércoles. Wednesday, maybe, huh? Do you know when it is? No, Freddie doesn't know either. That's your little sister.
Yeah, I know. Huh?
Yeah, you'd think he would know. Yeah, no kidding. All right, well, we're going to have to do, Michael, are we going to do something? What are you going to do? Yeah, he doesn't know.
gonna buy me some
Do you want to
flowers.
talk to Paulina? Yeah, you want Paulina's flowers?
No.
You sure? You might be able to get them if you give them a jig or something. All right, that I'm going to see what we're going to do. And he says, "Saludos del norte de California." He's saying, "Hello from Northern California." Thank you, Jaime. Really appreciate it. Happy early birthday, Sam. Happy
you.
birthday.
Thank you.
Guess I am going to have to buy wings tonight. I thought I was going to get out of it. All right. Assist hooks or top or bottom or one on each side. Sam, can you answer that on your birthday today?
Yeah, I think
Please.
it's there really hasn't been a strong argument one way or another. Although I think most of the boats these days are wanting you to have them on one side of the jig only. Talk to the crew when you get on to the boat and see what they prefer. But most of the times they're going to want it on one side only, and that's the way I would go.
All right, what a great show, and the questions just keep rolling in. The fastest 2 hours on YouTube, right here on the, what is this? Tackle Shop Confessions on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Thanks, everybody. Let's get into some more questions. What the hell was that?
Sneezing
Oh
out his
my
butt.
God, Dan just like ripped one, and Mackie is like running for the exit. Wow, Dan, that was vulgar. What's wrong with you?
It's that green
Very
cloud over there. Yeah.
uncouth. Must have been that sandwich I gave him. Okay, very, very uncouth. Ugh. All right, let's see. This guy's got, let's see, JV Jr., El Pescador says, what your thoughts on an Akuma Alijos 2-speed reel? Thanks, guys.
It's
A
great
party
reel.
out here tonight.
Great reel. Yeah, no problem with that thing. They make it in some really small sizes, which is nice, all the way up to the 16. So yeah, those are good reels.
All right, GE83 says it's a Phoenix Megalodon.
Okay, yeah, that's the lighter one of them. I think that's the 607. I'll have maybe we can look at that, but yeah, definitely on the lighter side, and definitely for fish, maybe up to a 100-pounder would be kind of stretching its limits, and the reel that would match up to it. So, but it can be done. I did see it done last year.
And Freddie is shaking his head in agreement. So it sounds like we have a consensus here on that information. Chris Navarro, have a pissin' fun weekend.
That's right.
We will definitely do that. We'll be on the El Patron on Thursday. Another fantastic human being, Duong. Great guy. Hey, it's good to see you, my friend. Hi, Phil and Sam. Would it be a good idea for a reel manufacturer to come up with an electric reel for nighttime jigging for bluefin tuna that does the strenuous work of dropping the jig and winding it up? That's a pretty good idea.
They already
So-
make that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any of those electric reels will
Not
work?
any of them, but some of them have a jigging function.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's something that's already made and people use. And
I definitely think
available.
I might use. I'm looking at these guys, man. That's brutal.
Is it?
Like, well, I mean, like the Shogun last night had 2 fish at 9 o'clock, 2 fish at 11 o'clock, and 1 at 4:30 in the morning. Does a lot of freaking work out there for no fish, man. Right? I guess it's part of the.
part of
It's
the
like
deal.
when guys complain about dropping 600 feet for rock cod.
Yeah.
I say, what? I love that.
or all night for a sea bass or
Yeah.
whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, trolling all day for an albacore. I mean, it's fishing.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
And
But they do make something for you if
Are-
you want. Yeah.
DeZong goes on and says, and switch to manual to fight the fish with 2-speed like the regular reel. So they make that, who is it? And
everybody makes it.
Oh,
Daiwa,
okay.
Shimano, yeah.
all right, there you go, man. We solved that.
Maybe even Piscifun.
Piscin fun. Oh, somebody else is here now. That's Israel.
Yeah.
Is it? And what is Israel's last name?
Gutierrez.
Gutierrez. You want to come on and say hello to everybody? Why not? You're going to introduce this guy? How come I've never met
So
him?
this is Speedy Custom Rods.
It is? Hey, Speedy Custom Rods.
Very accomplished rod builder as well.
Oh, he's a rod. Oh, are these two guys going to arm wrestle?
They do arm wrestle every
Oh,
day.
yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Well, should we give him a microphone? Let him say where we can order a rod from him?
Well, he did a whole thing. Just where
Step
you're
right
at
over here
and-
so we can see you. It's Israel, right?
What do you think about titanium guides?
Titanium guides. Probably
Put that up close to your mouth.
it's probably the best thing that you can do for your. I mean, if you're gonna invest in a rod, it's like one thing that I learned is it's gonna be something that you want to keep for a while. So it's probably the best way to go. Especially if you're the type of person that's not good on maintenance, washing your stuff, you don't have to worry about it. So definitely the route to go if you're gonna spend the money, just do it wisely, and you won't have to worry about it. It's a long-term investment
That's an excellent answer.
for sure. Yeah.
I wish that Freddie would have come up with a better answer like that. His answer sucked.
Yeah, I know.
This guy, Speedy or no, Israel. Speedy what?
Yeah, Israel.
Yeah.
Either or.
Do people call you Speedy?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. I don't want to get punched in the mouth or anything.
Oh, you're
so.
good.
No, if it's not Speedy, no, I'm okay with that. All
you're
right,
good.
excellent answer. And if people want to order a custom rod and it's okay with Freddie, oh, he's getting a gaff over there. Watch out. How did we get in touch with you?
Instagram, Speedy Custom Rods.
Speedy Custom Rods on Instagram. Send you a message.
Yeah, just send
And
me a
you'll
message.
take it from there. Where are you at? Where are you located?
I'm in East LA. I'm in
okay,
LA, in the heart
perfect.
of
They
LA.
got some good food over in East LA.
Yeah,
let me
that's why
tell
I'm
you.
there, man.
Yeah.
That's why I'm chunky now.
All right. Any other question, or are you ready to move on? That's it. Thank you so much. Great to see you.
No worries.
All right. Excellent. Boy, what a show tonight. We've had special guests. We've got Michael Limon. We've got roses for Paulina. We're having way too much fun tonight. The Royal Star, says Chris Navarro. Our first Royal Star trip was for Sam's birthday. I think his 30th.
Yeah.
Wow, that was
me and
100
him,
years ago.
Yep. 19 years ago.
Oh, man, you're still young.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. More money coming in. Man, Paulina's going to get some chocolates now, let me tell you. The Fish Whisperer, Abu Garcia 7000 size level wine. Thank you very much, by the way. I didn't say that. Squall 40 level wine. Daiwa Saltis 40 level wine. I have it rigged with solid braid. 60 pounds. Can these reels handle bluefin and yellowtail? Sam, what a question. Thank you
definitely-
for your kindness, Fish Whisperer.
From what I could see there, it looks like your Saltis might be your better of them. You know, they're definitely not really meant for big tuna. You know, but they'll be okay, maybe up to a 40, 50 pounder for sure. Past that, I don't know. You know, I've never really have heard of anybody using those level wine reels, those larger level wine reels like that for larger tuna. But maybe that Saltis 40 might be okay. But you're definitely pushing it. If you're going to go on a trip, maybe rent an outfit. Make sure you got the right outfit for a bigger tuna. Because now we're talking these 150 pounders. You know, you get something like that on any of those reels, you're definitely not going to be in good shape.
And by the way, the Fish Whisperer is brand new to the show, longtime watcher of the channel, but participating. Thank you so much for, gets on here, sends $10 in. We appreciate
There you
that.
go.
Fish Whisperer, if you'd like Michael to do a chicken dance or something, just say the word and we'll have him do it back there. You ready to do another dance? 10 push-up dance. There you are. We'll see. Darren Dohe, 310 Rodworks. He says, man, you got the heavy hitters on this show.
guys
These
here.
two guys right here, man. You're not kidding. Speaking of heavy hitters, Darren Dohe is a
heavy hitter,
is a
yeah.
heavy hitter. Darren, always good to see you. We got to get you down here one of these nights for sure. That would be great. Darren, thanks for checking in. Thanks for watching. I'm humbled. Sam and I are humbled. That's awesome. The Fish Whisperer. Oh, we already hit that. Andrew H. Just bought a Daiwa Saltiga 52 speed. What rigs should be using with that reel?
Well, that's going to be your probably your better setup for the sinker rig. Maybe a little bit of nighttime lightweight jigging, but definitely going to be good for your sinker rig. And as far as a rod, you're going to probably be looking for a 7 to 8 foot at least a 40 to 80, if not a 50 to 100 would probably be good for that reel.
All right, and we're going to get an on-the-spot update now from what the San Diego did from Angel Melgar. Angel, good to see you. What's up? Phil and Sam just got off the San Diego. He's out of C4 Sport Fishing, everybody, on a full day offshore. Limited out on nice big bonitos. Car chased a group of bluefin from 40 to 80 pounds, but did not even blink. They were on the move. All right, so they also chased around some bluefin. They're seeing the stuff. You've talked about it, Sam. I've talked about it. Seems like it's going to get going here. They were off Rosarito, so it's getting closer, man. It was down there off Punta Banda.
Yeah, they get them.
God, what a great report, Angel. Thank you so much for that, man. Making the show even more current than it is. Really appreciate you, my friend. The Fish Whisperer says, so the limit, 50 pounds?
Yeah, I mean, as far as a safe limit, I would say, but be advised, these tuna, one school you'll get them 20 to 40 pounds, next school 200 pounds. So, I definitely probably wouldn't be fishing a whole lot of that size or that kind of reel for what's going on out there right now. You just, you're kind of setting yourself up. But on the yellowtail, no problem. I think a 25-pound yellowtail, I've seen lots of them caught on that Saltis level wine reel. I think you'd be okay with that. But it's that tuna that could get you in trouble.
All right, very good. Thank you again, Fish Whisperer, for a great question. And Angel, thank you very much for the update on that. Really, really appreciate it. Ramiro Quintero says, good evening, guys. What's a good rod to pair with a Tranx 400 for fishing jigs and lead heads with squid for white sea bass?
In that 9-foot range as well, the 20 to 50, 30 to 60 is kind of going to be your range. That 9E might be a good one to look at. Phoenix has a couple rods, maybe a 908, 909, that'd be good for that same type of application. There isn't a whole lot of bait caster rods that are out there. You might look at a custom rod. In fact, our rod builders here have been building quite a bit of that Rain Shadow SW1088 has been a good one. And we just got in some of the American Tqckle Bushido blanks in that 3K woven material. That stuff is a 9-foot, 12 to 25, and a 20 to 40 be good too. But those last, the Rain Shadow and American Tqckle, only available in a blank at this moment, so you're not going to be able to get that off the rack. But we're probably going to build a couple to have. A lot of guys have been commenting on how much they like them, so we'll probably have some available here. But there are some other rods that you might look at if you want to get something off the rack.
All right, very good. Excellent. Henry Lozada just retracted his message, but I saw it.
What was it?
I saw it. Do you know Henry?
Not off the top of my head. I'm
All
sure
right.
if I saw him, I'd recognize
Henry
him.
said that if Speedy and Freddie do the chicken dance, we'll get another $20 bill. I saw it, Henry. I saw it. You guys want to do the chicken dance here?
He's actually a good buddy. He's from the Bay Area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's
Well,
from
do you guys want to come out and do the chicken dance? Michael, show him how to do the chicken dance.
Next show.
Yeah, see it, look.
Next show we'll do it for $40. Tell him.
No, I mean, come on. We want the chicken dance out of you two guys.
I'm not dressed appropriately today.
Oh,
I
all right.
gotta get the whole outfit.
Oh, he's going to come dressed as a chicken next time, Henry. So there you are. Kai Fish Killer. It's tough to get Phoenix rod blanks these days.
It is. And those blanks like I was mentioning were Rain Shadow and American Tqckle. Those are available. And we may have a couple Phoenix blanks out there in the mix there, but the blanks, the rods that I mentioned were ready-made rods, so you can get those as a ready-made rod. But yeah, the other blanks that I was talking about were going to be that Rain Shadow and American Tqckle.
Henry Lozada says, I got you. So, man, you got to come dressed as a chicken, Speedy, next week. Freddie, you too. We got these rod builders here. We got all kinds of great people here. It's been a fantastic show. I don't see another question up there. We've been going for over 2 hours, Sam. It has been a pleasure to see you again.
Man.
I'm already sad that we're not doing a show next Monday, but we haven't decided yet.
We'll see. We'll work
we'll
something
figure that
out.
out.
Yeah.
Who knows? And real soon, also, we're going to do a tour right here of Island Fishing Tqckle. We've done some of those on our live show, but we need to do a more formal show because so many of you want to know. You've heard about the great inventory here, and believe me, you will have your mind blown. So Mackie and I will be here to do that pretty soon. Sam, why don't you tell everybody how they can get in touch with you here, come down when you're open, all that razzmatazz.
So yeah, we're in Carson, 21809 Avalon Boulevard, Carson, California, 90745. We're just off the 405 between the 110 and the 710. You can call down here 310-707-1205. Probably the best way to get a hold of me is through social media, Instagram or Facebook. Send me a message there. I'm the guy who's going to be answering that. So get a hold of me.
The best way to get a hold of Sam is to come down to the store and
Yeah.
say hi to him.
We are open 10 to 7, Monday through Saturday. So, so yeah, Henry is
Henry
serving it
Lozada.
up. Serving it up.
Henry, un abrazote. Un abrazote por ti. This
on,
guy's a great
Freddie, show him how
guy.
to
You
do it,
guys didn't
Freddie.
even have, you know, oh, now they got to do it. Yeah, come on. Freddie, here comes Freddie and Speedy. Come on. Oh, Speedy's afraid to do it. Freddie,
Yeah,
come
20 for
on.
one and then 20 for the other.
I'm liking this, man. Come on.
Yeah, 20 for one. 20 for one. 20
Come on,
each.
Freddie. You do it. Freddie, Michael, come on. Come on, Speedy. All you got to do is move your arm. Yeah, we got it. The Rod Builders in Southern California. Here it goes. This is fantastic. That's it. Wow, that was pretty good. Woo! Look what you started, Henry. We are friggin' loving it here tonight. Way too much of a big party. And if you want to meet us at SoCal Wings, sounds like we're going to be there in just a few more moments. Henry, thank you, man. We really appreciate you very, very much. Carlos G says you guys are the best. Rodworks, Darren Doe, he's on the floor, cracking up right now. Tuna Kids, guys, I worked in a taco shop for over 7 years, and they have a great night, fellas. Cool Daddy loves it. Fish with Ish. Tuna Kid says tackle. I'll tell you, what a great show. Michael, give me 5. I'll be back with the morning briefing bright and early tomorrow morning, getting you caught up on what is biting or what bites tonight. We thank our special guests tonight. They were great, Speedy and Freddie. And Sam, always a pleasure, my friend.
That's it, man.
All right. Hey, we do have one opening on the El Patron. You want to fish with
No, I
Dan
think,
and Michael? Send me a text right now, and I'll get back to you a little bit later.
Rick got that one,
657-227-6459. Richie Rich says thank you. We thank all of you for joining us. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks, Sam.
All right, man.
Love it.